Live from Maverik Center in the Salt Lake Valley, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the opener of a three-game series as the Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's the second meeting this season between the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits. You have to go back to opening night where the Grizzlies defeated Greenville 3-1. That was a road victory, as the Grizzlies got 2 goals from Garrett Pike and an empty netter from Ty Voigt. Neither guy is on the current Grizzlies roster, and Dryden McKay picked up the victory in net, and McKay is now with the Bloomington Bison. So it should be a ton of fun. The Grizzlies played pretty well last weekend on the road in Rapid City, winning 2 out of 3 games. They won the first 2 games of that series, as last Friday it was a 5-2 victory as Reed Lepster led Utah with 2 goals and 1 assist. Tyler Gratton had 3 assists, and Riley Connors and Evan Friesen each added first-period goals. And Aiden Hansen-Bukata scored a 3-on-5 shorthanded goal late in the second period. And one of the other big stars that night was Dominic Bassey, who earned his first league victory, stopping 35 of 37. Grizzlies were outstanding on the power play in all 3 games last weekend in Rapid City, as they were 5 for 13 on the power play over their last 3 games. Last Saturday, Utah got a 6-2 victory as they scored 2 goals in each period. Tyler Gratton had 2 goals. Evan Friesen had 1 goal and 2 assists. And Danny Genev had 1 goal and 1 assist. And Dominic Bassey was once again outstanding as he stopped the last 32 shots he saw. And the Grizzlies were 2 for 4 on the power play and a perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Rapid City did get a victory on Sunday afternoon, 6-3. But once again, it was the Reed Lepster show as he had 2 goals and 1 assist. And Danny Genev had 2 assists. Reed Lepster was robbed of the league's Player of the Week award, and he certainly should have won it, as he had 4 goals and 3 assists in 3 games last week. And if not Lepster, it should have gone to Tyler Gratton, as the Grizzlies captain had 3 goals and 3 assists in the 3-game series. And Danny Genev obviously has been a consistent force for the Grizzlies. He was outstanding in the road series against Rapid City. Goaltending matchup tonight, Dominic Bassey will get the start for the Grizzlies. This will be his 6th appearance. He's got a record of 2-2-1 with an even .900 save percentage. Remember, he's been outstanding each of his last 3 starts, dating back to a week and a half ago in the loss to Kansas City, where he saved 25 of 27, and obviously back-to-back wins in Rapid City. Greenville's going to go with Isaiah Seville, who just came over from the AHL's Ontario Reign. Seville's got a .924 save percentage and a record of 4-5. And a 2.46 goals against average. Greenville's played a lot of lower scoring games. They score 2.6 goals per game. They allow 2.8. And so they're one of those teams that, you're going to see a lot of 2-1, 3-2 kind of games involving the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. It's the first ever meeting for Greenville here at Maverik Center. It's the start of a 3-game series. There are a couple former Grizzlies on the Greenville roster, namely Keaton Mastrodonato, who led all Utah forwards in points last season. He was second on the club, trailing only Derek Dashke. Mastrodonato has 9 goals and 12 assists in 31 games. Also here is former Grizzly Cole Fraser, who was part of the Grizzlies for half of the 2020-21 season. Fraser is making his 28th appearance as he had split time. He's just a recent pickup by the Swamp Rabbits. He'll be in the lineup as one of 6 defensemen for Chad Costello's crew. Costello is familiar with this area and familiar with facing the Grizzlies, as he's the former Allen Americans head coach. Last year he was an assistant and turned out to be an interim head coach with the Rapid City Rush. And obviously in his playing days, spent a ton of time with the Allen Americans. And obviously in his time played against the Grizzlies quite a few times here on the Maverik Center ice. So it should be an interesting one. Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits. Face-offs in about 15 minutes from now. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the stars and some of the players who are among league leaders in many statistical categories. And we'll also talk about the newest Grizzlies. It seems like just about every game the Grizzlies are signing somebody. They signed a forward earlier today, TJ Sneath, who's going to be making his Grizzlies and league debut. We'll talk about him on the other side, as well as some of the other Grizzlies who are making their Maverik Center debut this evening. We're in business on a Wednesday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverik Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea? Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 14 minutes from now as the Grizzlies are taking on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for the second time this season. Utah's 3-0 all-time against Greenville, and all three of those were a one-game stop in Greenville. They played there during the 2019-2020 season. Then they were there a couple years later, the 2021-22 campaign for a game, and obviously opening night this year, the Grizzlies got a 3-1 victory on October 17th. There's quite a few Grizzlies players who are among league leaders, and if you're looking at Utah's bread and butter, it's got to be Reed Lebster and Danny Genev. Lebster is tied for second in the league with 21 goals this season. He was outstanding last week in Rapid City, scoring 4 goals and 3 assists. And how about Danny Genev? He leads the league with 163 shots on goal. He also is tied with Lebster for the team lead with 33 points, which ranks second among league rookies. Genev has 13 goals and 20 assists this year. Genev is third among rookies with 11 power play points. And so Reed Lebster and Danny Genev, we've been talking about them constantly from game to game, as those two have really been outstanding for the Grizzlies, and they've been consistent forces, and obviously they're now tied for the club lead in points. And we'll see what they do here this evening and all weekend. And as we mentioned, Lebster certainly was robbed of the league's Player of the Week award, which went to Kyle Krenkovic, and Krenkovic did have a 6-point game against the Tulsa Oilers, but Lebster was able to get it done all week long, whereas Krenkovic, all that came in just one game, and he actually went scoreless in the other game that he played this week, did Krenkovic. Grizzly rookie defenseman Aiden Hansen-Bukata is fifth among league rookies with 19 assists. He's also tied for second among first-year pros with 10 power play assists. And as we mentioned in the first segment, the Grizzlies' power play certainly went to work last weekend against Rapid City, as they were 5 for 13. They had 2 goals, 2 power play goals in 2 of the games and 1 in another. They will be going up against a pretty good penalty kill unit in the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, who are 83.8% on the penalty kill. Grizzlies' power play right now is an even 20%, which ranks 9th in the league. Utah has been a high shot volume type of club as of late, as they're averaging 36 shots per game over their last 13 contests. The Grizzlies been a hot offensive club, as they got the offense rolling quite a bit last week in Rapid City, scoring 14 goals in 3 games. Unfortunately, in the last homestand against Kansas City, the Grizzlies were outscored 14-2 against the first-place Mavericks. But we'll see what happens here tonight against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, a team that neither club's really familiar with each other. So it'll be interesting to see early on if there's a filling out process between the clubs. As you mentioned, the Grizzlies picked up a new player as TJ Sneath signed earlier today. He comes over from the Federal League's Topeka Scarecrows, and he was having a pretty good year with Topeka, where in 26 games he had 13 goals and 19 assists. Before that, played 2 years with the Motor City Rockers of the Federal League, and he had 2 outstanding scoring years there as well, where he had 38 goals in 70 games in 2 years with Motor City, and he also had 38 assists. Sneath is 5'10", 185 pounds, out of Chino, California, 31 years old, and it'll be fun to see him making his league debut as he signed earlier today. He'll be one of 16 players on John Buchanan's lineup card, as the Grizzlies obviously have been battling the injury bug as of late. It looks like Mike Gillette's going to be out for the second straight game. And other than that, it's going to be a pretty similar lineup as to what the Grizzlies had in Rapid City last weekend, where they picked up 2 out of 3 victories. One of the themes that the Grizzlies have coming into this week is wanting to turn things around here at home. Grizzlies have been a pretty good road team this year, where they've got a record of 12, 11, and 2, and they've been pretty even in the goal differential category on the road this season. Utah's hoping to get things done here on the Maverik Center ice, and it begins tonight against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. When we come back to the pregame report, we'll go over the starting lineups for both teams. We're in business on a Wednesday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Greenville Swamp Rabbits, who are led by future Hall of Fame player Chad Costello, as he was a league legend, scoring multiple championships with the Allen Americans. He's the former Allen Americans head coach. He had 2 playoff appearances in 2 years as Allen's head coach, and it was a controversial firing before the 2024-25 season, and Costello's back on his feet as head coach of the Swamp Rabbits. And then the associate coach is Jason Payne, who spent the last 4 years as the head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones. Greenville comes in with a record of 15, 16, and 4. They are 6, 6, and 3 on the road. It's their 36th game this season and their 16th on the road, and they begin a long road trip, 3 games here in Utah, and then 3 next week over in Idaho at Idaho Central Arena against the Steelheads. Isaiah Seville, Saville, is going to get the start in net. He just came over from the AHL's Ontario Reign. He's a native of Anchorage, Alaska. Seville is 6'1" and 196 pounds. This season, he's got a record of 4-5 as he's made 9 appearances. He has a 2.46 goals against average and .924 save percentage. Starting defensive pairing for Greenville includes Jake Murray, who's a big 6'3", 216-pound defenseman, and he's paired up with Parker Berg, who's making his 32nd appearance. He's got 5 goals and 7 assists. The other defensemen are Tim Lovell, along with their captain, Josh Atkinson. Jacob Modry is a huge 6'6", 215-pound defenseman. And Cole Fraser, the former Grizzlies, also going to be in there as well. So that's the 6th defenseman for the Swamp Rabbits. Starting forwards include Keaton Mastrodonato, the former Grizzly, led all Utah forwards in points last season. He's got 9 goals and 12 assists in 31 games. Ryan O'Hara is going to be the starting center, 4 goals and 13 assists in 35 games. He'll be wearing number 20. And Kenta Isogai, a native of Japan, Nagano, Japan, who held the Olympics in 1998. In 12 games, he has 2 goals and 4 assists. We'll also see Hudson Shandor with Patrick Polino and Dante Sheriff, along with John Parker Jones, Ryan O'Reilly, and the former Steelhead Wade Murphy, along with Remy Parker, Ben Poisson, and Jack Brackett. That's the 12 forwards for the Swamp Rabbits tonight. First time Greenville has ever been here in the Salt Lake Valley. And now for the lineup of the Utah Grizzlies, who are led by first-year head coach John Mechanic and assistant coaches Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilley. This is game 40 of 72 for the Grizzlies in their final hunt. So far this season, they've got a record of 15, 21, and 3, and they're looking to turn things around here on home ice, and they've been a pretty good road club with a record of 12, 11, and 2. Utah is just 3, 10, and 1 here at home, but the Grizzlies have played the fewest amount of home games of any team in the league. Before he goes over who's in the lineup, we'll go over the scratches Colby Enns is out of the lineup for the third straight game. Also out is Avery Winslow. Former Swamp Rabbit Stepan Timofeyev is not in the lineup, along with Rylan Kovacevic, Luke Manning, Neil Shea, Christoph Filion, and Mike Gillette, the older brother of John Gillette. So we're waiting for the Grizzlies to hit the ice. Looks like there's some seats still available, so come on out and join us at Maverik Center here tonight as the hype video is playing at center ice. And we're going to have a ton of fun here this evening. We know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. We thank everybody who chose the Grizzlies in their battle against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Getting the start in net's going to be Dominic Bassey. He's 6'6" and 197 pounds. He's been outstanding his last 3 games. He saved 69 of 73 in 2 games last weekend against Rapid City. In 5 games overall, he's got a record of 2-2-2 with an even .900 save percentage. Dylan Wells is the backup. 6 defensemen for John Buchanan's crew. The starting defensive pairing includes Robbie Stucker, who's been a dependable defenseman since he came over in early December. Stucker is 6'3" and 179 pounds. In 34 games, he has 3 goals and 11 assists. Luke Salem's also going to be in there. He's got an assist in 4 of his last 9 games. Salem has 1 goal and 9 assists in 36 games. So Stucker and Salem are going to be the starting defensive pairing. You also see Aiden Hansen-Bucata paired up with Luke Antonacci. Antonacci is making his Maverik Center debut. He scored the game winner, which turned out to be his first pro goal last Saturday in Rapid City in the 6-2 win. Antonacci is 5'9", 175 pounds, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play as he showed a ton of promise and potential last week in Rapid City. Batu Boilar and Noah Gansky are going to be a defensive pairing as well. So Salem and Stucker are going to be a pairing as well as AHB and Antonacci. Boilar and Gansky are going to be a defensive pairing as well. As Grizzlies come out of the tunnel in a professional green jersey, they're alternates with white numbers, white lettering, and a little bit of black mixed in. Grizzlies waving the flag at center ice. Grizzlies are rolling with 10 forwards. And we'll get the starting lineups from Mark Larson here shortly. As Grizzlies going to be rolling with the forward line, top forward line of Tyler Gratton, Evan Friesen, and Reed Lepster. All 3 of them were outstanding last weekend in Rapid City. Dave Genev's going to be lined up with Riley Connors and Mikey Coella from left to right. Third forward line from left to right is Sean Kennedy with John Gillette and Henri Schreifels, who's making his Maverik Center debut. And TJ Sneath is going to be in there as well. Sneath is making his league debut and obviously his Maverik Center debut as well. Let's get the lineups from Mark Larson.
Sucker! On defense, wearing number 6, Luke Salem. At forward, wearing number 11, Evan Friesen. At forward, wearing number 23, Reed Lepster. At forward, wearing number 59, Tyler Gratton. And protecting our goal tonight, wearing number 35, Dominic Bassey.
So that's the starting lineup for the Grizzlies. Stucker and Salem, along with the forward line of Gratton Friesen and Lepster and Dominic Bassey in net. Well, it should be a ton of fun. If you're in the Salt Lake Valley or if you're in the West Valley area, come on out and join us. I don't know what the weather looks like outside. We haven't had much of a winter here in the Salt Lake Valley, although it is a little bit chilly this evening. But make sure to come on out, not only tonight, but remember this is the start of a 3-game series. Friday night's going to be at 7 o'clock, and Saturday is going to be the final Guns N' Hoses Classic in team history with charity games beginning at noon. There's going to be 3 charity games, with the first one starting at noon, and then obviously the Grizzlies will take on these same Swamp Rabbits on Sunday afternoon at 7 p.m. Now let's pause and rise for our national anthem.
Now, please rise if you haven't already and remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem performed tonight by Utah Voices.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for the fourth time all-time, second of four meetings between these clubs this season. And it's the first time the Swamp Rabbits have ever been here to the Salt Lake Valley. Looks like we still got some good seats available. Looks like a little bit of a late arriving crowd here on a Wednesday night. First of a three-game series. Remember, the Grizzlies will be home for the majority of the second half of the regular season. It's only the 15th home game for the Grizzlies this year, and it's already game 40. So Utah will be home quite a bit during the second half of the season. They're coming off a pretty strong weekend where they won 2 out of 3 games against Rapid City, outscoring the Rush 14-10. And, you know, the old saying, the old cliche, your best players have to be your best players. And last weekend, the Grizzlies' best players were their best players. Lebster, Genev, Grattan, Aiden Hansen-Mukata. You know, you're talking about Riley Connors really stepping up and playing well as well. As Sid Butler is dropping the ceremonial puck. And the two captains, who incidentally both wear number 59, Tyler Grattan and Josh Atkinson. Atkinson's been a pro for 10 years, and Tyler Grattan's a second-year pro out of Arizona State and Penn State. He was at Arizona State 2 years ago, and he was the captain of the Sun Devils during the 2023-24 campaign. Goaltending matchup as Isaac Seville getting the start for Greenville. It's the first time he's ever faced the Grizzlies. He'll be wearing number 31, and he's got a .924 save percentage and an AHL contract with Ontario. He just came over from Ontario earlier today. And Dominic Massey will get the start, the former Chicago Blackhawks draft pick, as he was outstanding in 2 games against Rapid City last weekend, stopping 69 of 73. Referees tonight are Rocco Stakoviak and Ian Rapp. The linesmen are Andrew Collins and Craig Peterson. Grizzlies will start out with Grattan, Friesen, and Lebster, with Friesen taking the draw on Stucker and Salem. Ryan O'Hara is going to take the draw for Greenville. Grizzlies in a green jersey, white numbers, a little bit of black mixed in. Greenville in a white jersey, orange numbers, orange lettering. As draw won by Utah. Actually, Greenville won the draw. Grizzlies come up with it. Grattan left wing fires towards the net and misses. As big time check delivered as Reed Lebster got pushed to the boards by Kenta Isogai, native of Nagano, Japan. Grizzlies get it back in neutral ice. Grattan with the left wing feed to Friesen off his stick. Isogai will feed it back towards the far corner. As taking the puck is Jake Murray, number 5. Murray spins it out to the right wing as it goes towards Isogai. Isogai right point fires towards the net and misses. As he went stick side on Massey. As Reed Webster, 7 points in 3 games last week, ahead to Grattan off this stick, and it slides towards the goaltender, Seville, and they'll tap it off the top of the boards. It goes back into the Grizzlies zone. Utah skates from right to left during the period. Luke Antonacci in his first home shift with a left wing saucer towards Mikey Coelho, who dumps it in. Coelho wearing number 96. As Greenville back up at the puck as we played about a minute. Nobody has a shot as of yet. Swamp Rabbits up ahead. They're looking for Dante Sheriff, pass behind him. Polino is cutting towards the net as well. Grizzlies ice the puck, and we get our first whistle 1 minute and 7 seconds into the game. Well, who's your pick to click? Who's going to be the player of the game for the Grizzlies tonight? I think I'm going to go. I know a couple people are going with Reed Webster. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to go with Riley Connors as my pick to click. I know that there are some fans that have mixed emotions because they want to see the Grizzlies win, but they also want to see Keaton Mastrodonado play well. There's a lot of people who have met Mastro last year, knows what a good guy he is. Greenville wins the offensive zone draws. They get it towards the corner. Dancing around is Hudson Shandor. He's got 2 goals and 11 assists this season, wearing number 17. Puck goes towards the far side. Sheriff has a glance off his stick. Grizzlies had Sheriff's rights for a few days in October. Sheriff down the middle of the ice, and he'll chip it into the right corner. As Sheriff was eventually traded for Stepan Timofeyev, who's out of the lineup, but he was at morning skate this evening, so he might be a little bit closer to coming back than some of the other guys. As Coelho out to center ice, neutralized, fires lefty shot, glove saved by Seville. And then after the whistle, Josh Atkinson decided to deliver a hit on Coelho, as Coelho was just following his shot, and Atkinson gave him a hit. No harm, no foul, as Coelho is looking at one of the referees. And that's one of those where, whether it's a penalty or not, well, you kind of wish the Grizzlies would go after Atkinson a little bit there because it really was unnecessary. So draw's going to be over in the right circle of the Swamp Rabbit zone, so it's going to be an offensive zone draw. Seville catches with his right, and his stick sides his left. Seville, first time he's played against the Grizzlies. Isaiah is his first name. John Gillette in his first shift of the game is out there with Sean Kennedy and Henri Schreifels. And for Schreifels, he's one of 3 Grizzlies players in the lineup tonight who are making their Maverik Center debut. Schreifels along with Luke Antonacci and TJ Sneath. We've yet to see Sneath, but he'll be in there as well. As Greenville wins the draw, as they get it towards Wade Murphy, who was a Grizzlies killer for a couple years when he was with the Idaho Steelheads recently. Plops one in. As Gansky, he gets belted by big John Parker Jones. Parker Jones even bigger than Gansky, if you can believe it. As up top, Swamp Rabbits fire towards the net, and it's blocked. It was blocked by John Gillette. Shot was taken by Cole Fraser, the former Grizzly. Fraser, his last name. Fraser was with the Grizzlies for 27 games during the 2020-21 season. As out to the right point of the Swamp Rabbits zone, Greenville will bounce it in deeper. Getting after the puck is Cole Fraser, number 51, up ahead towards Ryan O'Reilly. As he'll cross center ice down the middle, O'Reilly will try to split a double team as he moves the puck ahead about 10 feet. Salem out to center ice. Kennedy gets towards Lebster, and Lebster accelerates towards the left corner deep in the Swamp Rabbit zone. Lebster falls down, and he gets hit by Murray. Lebster slow to get back to his feet, but he does get to his feet and starts accelerating up ice. 2-on-2 Swamp Rabbits over the offensive line. Oh, it looked like they were offside by a mile, but no call as we play on. Greenville gets up top. Now it's a moot point as it goes back to neutral ice. So we played about 3 minutes. Utah's one shot. Greenville yet to fire away on Bassey. We're just getting underway, so grab some chips and dip in a beverage of your choice and enjoy part of Wednesday with us. Swamp Rabbits left wing, lefty shot, saved by Bassey as it kicks off his stick and rolls towards the left corner. Now left point, Greenville dances around, left circle, shot saved by Bassey as he crouched down in the butterfly position. As Grattan gets back checked, but he's able to get to center ice. He got it poked away by Mastrodonado. Friesen will sky it towards Seville as the Grizzlies make a line change. Utah's keeping their shifts pretty short here as Connors is out there with Coelho and Genev. As Antonacci is out there with Hans Bukata. That's a party of 5 as Greenville still has it deep in their own zone. Swamp Rabbits now up to 2 shots to Utah's 1. Greenville out to center ice. They saucer at angle right as it kicks off Isogai's stick. Isogai's got good speed. Skates around AHB. Siren pass off of Antonacci as it goes towards the middle of the ice. Genev backhand feed ahead to Connors. Tape to tape. Over to Coelho. Left wing. Lefty shot. And that's kicked away off the left pad of Seville. Now right wing shot saved by Seville. He holds on. Antonacci took the second shot from the right wing. Seville makes the stop as we played an even 4 minutes. And there's still no score. Both teams are pretty different than what we saw on opening night on October 17th. So there is a bit of a feeling out process between the clubs, trying to assess the strengths, weaknesses, and playing tendencies of the opposition. Grizzlies really have played well in the first period in about 5 of their last 6 games. Greenville takes the draw. Josh Atkinson, number 59, their captain, 10th-year pro, gets behind the net. Now Greenville will chip it back towards the far side as they spread the ice. Swamp Rabbits out towards center ice. They play a ton of lower-scoring games as they'll drop it for Isogai. As Isogai feeds it towards the right corner. Now back up top. Atkinson keeps it in off his skate as he'll plop it to the right goal line. Mastrodonato look to center it, and it kicks away. Back to the right point. Tim Lovell tried to skate around a Swamp Rabbit, and John Gillette collides with Mastrodonato as Lavelle and the Swamp Rabbits are offside. So the draw is going to come back to neutral ice. There's 15:28 left in the first. Thanks for hanging out with us. Looks like we're going to have a good time this weekend. Don't forget that this is just game 1 of a 3-game set. Friday and Saturday night will be 7 o'clock face-offs as well. Tim Lovell, number 43, as he played at the University of Michigan. As Lovell actually played with a couple different colleges, which is kind of more the norm these days. Greenville skates back in. Sheriff feeds up top. Cole Fraser with the righty shot that goes wide. Webster collides with Patrick Polino, the former Cincinnati Cyclone star. There's a few former Cyclones on this roster. Jason Payne, the assistant coach, or actually they've called him an associate coach with Greenville, is with the Swamp Rabbits with Chad Costello. As Luke Salem skates towards the left corner, he gets knocked down by Fraser, no call. As up top, Stucker fires towards the net and misses stick side, which is Seville's left. As puck towards the corner and it hipping opposite the left point. Gratton fires towards the net and it bounces about 10 feet in front of the crease. Friesen with a shot saved by Seville as Friesen was able to locate it in front of the crease. Greenville will plop it into Grizzlies ice. Antonacci's got pretty good speed. He'll skate around Bassey's net and feed it to Hans Bukata. AHB left wings it, and he overleads it for Connors. It ricochets off the boards. Gratton and Connors double team O'Reilly on a hit as Jake Murray gets the puck. We played close to 6 minutes, still no score. Both teams have 3 shots. O'Reilly crosses center ice, enters from the right wing, skates along the right wing boards, and feeds the puck around the boards. All big-time double-team hit as two Swamp Rabbits hit Genev. John Parker Jones, a big 6'7" defenseman, feeds up top. Actually, he's a forward. Genev takes it away. Danny Genev down the middle of the ice, trying to get towards Coella. And Coella is occupied by Jake Murray. Murray pins Coella to the boards. Genev looked to center it, but it glanced off a Greenville skate as the Swamp Rabbits left wing feed fires into the Grizzlies bench as Ryan Anderson and DJ McFarland each sprawl out of the way. McFarland pounding his chest, saying, "Whoa, I think his heart skipped the beat. He might have to get looked over by the trainer, Brooke Timoney." 13:46 left in the first period. Still no score. Both teams have 3 shots. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverik Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
.13 46 seconds left in the first period. Draw's going to be at center ice after the puck went into the Grizzlies bench and gave a scare to Ryan Anderson and DJ McFarland. Well, TJ Sneath is on the ice wearing number 74, and it is his league debut. And what a journey it's been for him. 31 years old, spent the last 2.5 years in the Federal League, played with 3 different SPHL clubs before that, and he's making his league debut. He was having an outstanding year with the Topeka Scarecrows in the Federal League, scoring 32 points in 26 games. Poilard gets it ahead and chasing after it, but it's going to be icing on Utah's Poilard was in Grizzlies territory when he fired it in. Mathieu Boilards lined up with Noah Gansky, and obviously we've got John Gillette with Henri Schreifels and TJ Sneath. Sneath is the 45th different player to appear in a game for the Grizzlies this season, and it's only game 40, so by the time you get the juniors and college players in February and March coming out, boy, Grizzlies could be up to 60 players by the end of this season. Still no score. 6.5 minutes in. Grizzlies win the draw. As battle over towards the left wing boards, Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. Left wing shot, and it's blocked, and it trickles back towards the Greenville bench. Swamp Rabbits run it down. Greenville about a 500 club this season with a record of 15, 16, and 4. As Greenville with a rink-wide feed, angle right, it goes past Parker, but it stays in play. Remy Parker, number 22, first time he's played against the Grizzlies. As Schreifels will fire it off the near wing boards. Lebster will slide it to the middle of the ice. It goes towards Gansky. Gansky's got an A on his sweater as he'll fire it around the boards. Lebster has a kick off his stick. Out to center ice, Mastrodonato. Overleads it for number 20, Ryan O'Hara. O'Hara, Mastrodonato, and Isogai are the top forward line for Greenville tonight. As Salem avoids the Mastrodonato check and feeds it to his right. Grizzlies over the offensive line. Lebster bounces one in front for Freese, and it was just overled for him as he couldn't quite reach as it kicked off the left pad of the goaltender Seville. Now Greenville back in as Isogai skates around Utah's net towards the far side. Salem challenges him. Now the puck towards the left corner. Lebster holds up a Greenville stick. Mastrodonato up top. Lovell dances around, skates towards his left, feeds behind his back to Mastrodonato. As the Maestro around the boards, it goes towards the left wing. Gratton accepts the puck, but it goes past him. Mastrodonato down the middle, fires towards the net, saved by Bassi in the butterfly position as the puck will fly towards the far wing boards. Gratton throws it up, but not out as he got some air under it, but not enough for it to exit the zone. Mastrodonato left wing, fires righty shot, saved by Bassi off his blocker. As it goes back to Atkinson up top to Mastrodonato. He's in the left point. Mastrodonato over to the right side. Level one-timer. Kicked off the left ankle of Bassi. Bassi's got one of the longer pair of legs of any goaltender in the league. Gratton out to center ice left wing. Steps over the offensive blue as he gets belted and taken off the puck by Josh Atkinson, who's been a physical presence here in the first 8.5 minutes of the game. Still no score. Connors gets the puck as Coelho with a great job challenging Level in the Swamp Rabbit zone. As puck towards the left corner. Now back towards Atkinson. He's in the far corner, and he saucers it ahead to neutralize, but it goes back to the Grizzlies. Antonacci cross-ice feed to Hans Mukata. Now to Genev down the middle of the ice. Lefty shot saved by Seville. Rebound goes towards the right wing boards. Swamp Rabbits at neutralize. Will backhand it ahead. Chasing after it's Hanson Mukata, and it's going to be icing on Greenville as there's 11:10 left in the first period. Looks like defensively both teams are off to a quick start. Both teams have 5 shots, but both teams have been very active on the defensive side of things. That's something that Brian Anderson and John Buchanan, the Grizzlies brain trust, want to get back to, is kind of being that tough team to play against defensively. And really, for the most part, in the first 2 games in Rapid City, they were able to accomplish a lot of that. And maybe even dates back to that Sunday game against Kansas City, January 18th. As Swamp Rabbits have the puck, they're in their own zone. Dante Sheriff, the former Tulsa Oiler and Cincinnati Cyclone, as he battles with Hanson Buchanan for the puck. Schreifel's in the area as well. Murray comes out with it for Greenville. Jake Murray wearing number 5. He's been in the Mountain Division with a couple different teams, Idaho and Allen to be specific. As Murray gets the puck, he's along the near side. Now he's in front of Seville, cutting towards the far side horizontally. Now right wing feed to Polino. As Polino gets knocked down back to his feet, and he's able to roll it around the boards. Antonacci ahead to Schreifels. Now it goes to Kennedy. Kennedy skates towards the middle of the ice. Now to the left wing. Lefty shot. It kicks off of Murray's skate, and it flies out of play. As there's 10:29 left in the first, and the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. So if we're talking about, who's got the advantage here in the first 9.5 minutes, it's really been pretty evenly matched. Well, it looks like it's going to be a pretty fun series. Make sure to get your tickets for Friday and Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So draw's going to be over in the left circle. Evan Freese will take it against Ryan O'Reilly. O'Reilly's got pretty good size at 6'2", 225 pounds. Friesen kicked out of the face-off circle. The captain, Tyler Gratton, will take the draw. Fans take up a Let's Go Grizzlies chant. Handful of games in the league this evening. Not too many Mountain Division battles. As Utah wins the draw, Friesen around the net, trying to get towards Lepster at the right goal line. Murray challenges Friesen. Now Friesen with the puck as it bounces off the referee's skate. One of two referees tonight. Now Lepster at the right goal line, dangling back and forth. Pivots, feeds him, starting pass to Grattan. Lefty shot. It goes just wide. Seville trying to get a stick in the way. Kind of messed up the timing of Grattan. Now Grattan right goal line, lefty shot. And that's blocked as it flips into the air and batted to center ice by Greenville. Wallar fires it back in at the end of a shift as Grizzlies get a fresh 5-man unit on the ice. Actually, Lepster stays out there. And 4 of the 5 now. Lepster will come off the ice. The puck goes to center ice. As taking the puck is Riley Connors down the middle. He'll skate towards his right. His shot goes just wide. As Connors, he got plenty of velocity on it, but just missed the net. Glove side on Seville, which is towards the near side as we see it. 2-on-2 battle over in the right corner. Now it slides towards the right circle. It's taken back by Greenville. As the Swamp Rabbits will tap it off the glass. Murray tries to get around Salem, does so, but Connors will backhand it ahead to center ice left wing for Genev. As Genev tries to break free of Cole Fraser and gets it across. As Robbie Stucker with the puck keeps his head up, the big 6'3 defenseman. He sauces one ahead, but it goes all the way towards Seville. Kicks it with his pad. As Jacob Modry will bounce one out towards center ice. His family's got a bit of a local connection. He's the son of Yaroslav Modry, the longtime NHLer and former Utah Grizzly. Utah bounced off the near wing boards. Greenville will helicopter it all the way towards Grizzlies ice. Bassey raises his stick, and both linesmen raise their right arm as icing is on Greenville. As we have played just over 11 minutes, the time remaining is 8:54 left in the first period. And Jacob Modry of Greenville, wearing number 44. He's the son of Yaroslav Modry. He played many years in the National Hockey League, quite a few of them with the LA Kings. And Modry was with the Grizzlies for 2 seasons, most of the 97-98 campaign and a handful of games back in the 96-97 season. And Jacob Modry's brother, Luke Modry, actually played locally for the junior hockey club, the Utah Outliers, for 1 year in the 2020-21 season. As Greenville ices the puck once again, as there's now 8:45 left in the first. So we've seen quite a few icings here early on, as that filling out process just continues. Start of a 3-game series, you can almost see the chess match going on as John Mechanic and Ryan Anderson, the Grizzlies brain trust, and Chad Costello and Jason Payne for Greenville. They're just assessing the situation, assessing what they can and can't do against the opposition. Modry gets the puck, and he is a huge 6'6 defenseman as he skies one to the Utah line. Taking the puck is number 24, Jack Brackett, one of his first shifts of the game as he gets double-teamed in the corner, deep in the Grizzlies zone, as it's on the near side as Greenville gets up top. Fraser, he's on the right side, fires a righty shot, and it bounced off of Bassey's glove and slides back towards the battle in the right corner as Brackett continues to wage with Hans Mukata. Now the puck goes out towards Utah, loose puck to the right point. Greenville keeps it in. As O'Hara dances around wearing number 20. O'Hara centering pass, but it was overled as couldn't getting there, as Modry couldn't get there in time. Fraser out to the right side. It's picked up by Hanson Bukata on a rink-wide feed. I try to get towards TJ Sneath, but it eluded him. Grizzlies try to fit in a line change. Greenville re-enters. Isogai dances around as he gets around Kennedy towards the right corner. Boilard delivers a big hit on Isogai as it glanced off of Isogai's stick towards the right point. Isogai pushed the boards by Friesen. Boilar in the area is Isogai back to his feet. Mastrodonato to the right corner, dancing around. Mastrodonato throws it back to the spot he vacated in the right corner for Lovell as Boilar delivers a hit on Boilar. As Gansky hits a Swamp Rabbit, play starting to get physical as Friesen comes with the puck. He'll race out to center ice, cross the center red line left wing, and he gets belted by Mastrodonato along the boards. Greenville sauces it to Mastrodonato off his stick. He regathers the loose puck. Backhands it towards the Swamp Rabbits bench to Atkinson, who gets challenged by Lepster. Now Lovell gets the puck, and he skates around Greenville's net. As Atkinson gets the puck, keeps his head up, bounces it to center ice. As the Swamp Rabbits step over the offense line, as Stucker spins around to Swamp Rabbit as they skate towards Utah's end boards. Now to the left wing, lefty shot saved by Bassey, as that shot was taken by Parker Berg, number 40. Sheriff to the right wing, Murray dancing around. He looked to center, and it kicked off of Stucker's skate. Polino around Utah's net, the former Cyclone. Now up top, Murray gets it in the right point. Over to Sheriff, who danced around. Sheriff skates towards the right point. He's got good speed. Blue line near his feet. Now he accelerates towards the left circle. Sheriff feeds one out in front, but it's picked off by Grattan, as it looked like Sheriff was trying to get towards Jacob Modry. Grizzlies sky it in as the puck hippity-hops deep in the Swamp Rabbit zone, but it's going to be icing on Utah with 6:22 left in the first. So we've been skating 5-on-5 this entire time. We haven't really seen an advantage either way. As John Mechanic having a conversation. It might be a one-way conversation with Ian Rapp. Now Rapp will skate towards Mechanic, and they'll have their conversation a little bit closer. So draws give me in the right circle of the Grizzlies zone. Utah in their green alternate jerseys. Very sharp look. Kind of a darker shade of green than what the Grizzlies wore as alternates 4 years ago during the Division Championship Club back in 2022. As Lepster with the puck behind his own net. Lepster 7 points in 3 games last week. Probably should have been the league's player of the week. Not that we're biased or anything. Long-range feed to Grattan. Hey, guess what? Icing. As it's going to be on the Grizzlies. We've seen a high amount of icings here so far. As game has kind of lacked a bit of a flow. And as you mentioned, both teams just kind of getting acquainted with each other. If you want to come to Saturday's game, make sure to get your tickets now because they're hoping for a sellout by the time we hit Saturday night, which is the final Guns N' Hoses Classic in team history. Shot count, Greenville was 7, Utah was 6. Both goaltenders have been solid here early on. Still looking for the first team to break through, or maybe the first team to make a mistake in this one, as leaping high into the air to keep it in was Wade Murphy. Now John Parker Jones, who was here at Maverik Center a few years ago as a member of Trois Rivières, big 6'7" forward, even looks bigger than 6'7". As puck back behind the net. There was no 6'7" pun there. That was definitely not intended. Berg gets some lumber in the shoulder left point. Murray trying to keep it in, but offside of the Swamp Rabbits. There's 5:39 left in the first. Still no score. Greenville's outshot Utah 7-6. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
5 minutes, 39 seconds left in the first period. Of the 6 shots Utah has in the first period, Mikey Coella leads the way with 2. 1 shot each for Luke Antonacci, Robbie Stucker, Evan Friesen, and Danny Genev. Neutral zone draw is taken by Utah as they skate from right to left here in the period. Hanson Bukata zips one out to center ice off of Connor's stick. Connor regathers it in the Swamp Rabbit zone. He fires a backhand shot saved by Savell off his right shoulder. As Greenville gets out to center ice, Hanson Bukata gets it. He's been outstanding this year. Right wing, dance around, look to center to Genev. It kicks off a Greenville skate. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way. That might have been the best look Utah's had so far. As Swamp Rabbits skate in offside. Good defensive play by Antonacci to challenge Greenville at the blue line. Kind of made Greenville bobble the puck a little bit and messed up the timing of the play. I mentioned a little bit last weekend, but I was really looking forward to seeing Luke Antonacci here this week. He's displayed a ton of skill. Remember, he scored the game winner, 5:03 into the second period this past Saturday. In Utah's 6-2 victory, it turned out to be the game winner. There's Hockenberry. They just showed him on the video board. He used to be a big fan of the Gunther and Ben radio show I used to be an afternoon producer of. Left wing, lefty shot, saved by Bassie off his glove. I see Hockenberry at literally every Mammoth home game, and it's great to see him here at a Grizzlies game. Out to the right wing, corner as Lepster with the puck. Around the boards, TJ Sneath hustling after it. He collides with Atkinson as Greenville has it back at their blue line as they backpedal into their own zone. Tim Lovell with the puck. Now he's behind Greenville's net. Less than 5 minutes left in the first period. Out to the right wing. Atkinson at center ice. Steps over the Utah line. Atkinson collides with Boilar as Gansky gets pinned to the boards. Now to the right wing. As Boilar dancing around, he's sporting a beard as he pushes the Swamp Rabbit. Puck goes out to Atkinson. Right side shot. And it kicks off his teammate, number 20, Ryan O'Hara. As O'Hara battles with Schreifels and Gillette. As puck slides over. Actually, it flew over Atkinson's head as Atkinson back in his own zone. Hot pass in the middle of the ice collected. And a right wing feed out to Masher Donato. Gets around Boilar. Mastro crashes off the boards. Gets back to his feet. I look to center, but bounced off of Gansky's skate. Now Isugai stops on a dime. Fanned on a centering feed. Keeps the puck right side. Now he skates towards the middle of the ice as he gets knocked down by Sneath. As over in the right wing, O'Hara fires lefty shot. And it's off the skate of Friesen. Skansky gets the puck left wing, crosses center ice, and he'll spin it around the wall. About 3.5 minutes left in the first period. And we're still scoreless. We haven't had a penalty in this game. Outside of both teams putting together a pretty good defensive effort, there's not a whole lot to speak of statistically so far. Greenville, they try to get it out towards Shandor, and icing on the play is Frazier and Shandor. We're talking things over as draw's going to come back towards Isaiah Seville. Well, I mentioned it during the pregame report, but the Grizzlies last week really got huge contributions from this forward line that's on the ice now. Lebster, Friesen, and Grattan. Grattan had 6 points last week, 3 goals and 3 assists. He had a big point. He had points in all 3 games. Lebster, 7 points last week, which was tied for the most in the league with Ryan Wagner, who had 1 goal and 6 assists. He was with Rapid City and he had 4 assists Sunday in the victory against Utah. As Greenville from neutral ice left wing fires towards Bassey, who kicks it away. Stucker around Utah's net. Now he'll tap it off the boards. Out to center ice. Grattan gets it. He'll slide it to his right for Lebster over the offensive line, but the Grizzlies are offside. As both teams are just a little bit out of sync here so far, as there's 2:51 left in the first. As Lebster just kind of threw his head up into the air a little bit. I think Grattan just came into the zone a little, just a hair before Lebster came into the puck. So draw at neutral ice, near dot. Genevieve, Connors, and Koala are the forward line with Antonacci and Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Really looking forward to seeing Antonacci in particular in open ice. He might be the quickest of all the Grizzlies right now. Antonacci around the boards. He spins it as Murray reversed the puck back towards the right side. Antonacci couldn't reach it. John Parker Jones hangs out at the Utah line. Good job by Hansen-Bukata staying back to occupy him as Antonacci gets the puck back, and he will globe it out to center ice, taken back by Berg of Greenville. As John Parker Jones gets it back, they list him at 6'7", 230. He's got to be closer to 6'9". John Parker Jones, he dumps it in, but it rolls on towards Bassey, who gloves it and holds on with 2:18 left in the first. I'm sure a guy like John Parker Jones probably gets asked every day if he's a basketball player. Nobody ever asked me if I was a basketball player, but I'm pretty sure you ask somebody that's that tall. Noah Gansky, there's him on Flow Sports. I mean, people probably ask Gansky every now and then on the streets, hey, do you play basketball? I haven't asked him that. I probably should ask him tomorrow. He was probably a pretty good high school basketball player if he wanted. However, hockey season and basketball season are at the same time, so it's almost impossible to be somebody that plays both hockey and basketball. But somebody that tall, you have to at least think about it. Draw one by Utah, but amazingly, for their size, both Gansky and John Parker Jones are outstanding skaters. Gansky in particular moves around pretty well for his size. One of Fort Wayne's best defensemen last year, and he's been outstanding for the Grizzlies. Gansky gets the puck, skates around one Swamp Rabbit. Now right wing righty shot. Glove saved by Seville as he holds on. Gansky did a good job getting towards the right corner. That's an easier save for Seville on that particular angle because he catches with his right. Just kind of an easy forehand save for him. And Seville did a good job kind of covering the far post. At least the far post in terms of where we're sitting, which would be the near post in terms of where the shot came from Gansky. So there's now 1:58 left in the first period. And I think the MVP so far has been the whistle. We've seen that. We've heard that quite a few here in the first period. Murray over the offensive line. He's a pretty good skater as he dumps it in. Murray's also spent some time in the AHL over the years as Lebster. He battles along the far wing with O'Hara. O'Hara takes a spill as Greenville lofts it over Lebster's head. As big-time collision as Boilar and Mastrodonato collide. Now Mastrodonato and Boilar, they exchange a stare down and a few words. Got to imagine a guy like Keaton Mastrodonato is a little bit anxious to come back here to the Salt Lake Valley. As we mentioned a few times, and really been talking about him all year long during intermissions. I mean, he was one of Utah's best players last season. As Boilar hit Mastrodonato, and then the Maestro took a little bit of offense. Mastrodonato's been in this division for a few years. Before he was a Grizzly, he spent some time with the Idaho Steelheads. So a minute 35 left in the first. Still looking for either team to break through. It's been a very evenly played first period. So I'm certainly curious as to what the off-ice officials have in terms of their stats. See if there's an edge anywhere statistically that they've got. Schreifels gets the puck, and he fires it down towards Greenville ice, and it's going to be, well, it looked like icing might have been called, but it's played behind Greenville's net to keep the play alive. Swamp Rabbits in a white jersey with orange mixed in. As Tim Lovell crosses center ice, and he'll saucer it to the right corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period. As Stucker delivers a push on Shondor, number 17. Shondor in his 34th game this season. As Luke Salem races along the right wing, and he'll whip it around the boards. Actually, it was the left wing that Salem was flying down, as there's now 54 seconds left in the period. Greenville out to center ice. Shondor over the offensive line stops, as he'll get towards the high slot. Atkinson backhands it ahead. Shandor comes off the ice. The Grizzlies back up with it. 40 seconds left in the period. Geneva out to the middle of the ice. Hanson Bukata gets it tapped away by Parker. Polino right wing. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Bassi. And he holds on as Patrick Polino got the puck accelerated towards the right circle. Looked like Polino tried to fire it under the right blocker of Bassi. And it looked like a pretty good location, though, but Bassi was able to collapse the puck under his arm and stop play with 33.4 seconds left. Well, it's one of the best saves Bassi's made so far tonight. Well, he's really come into his own as Dominic Bassi over the last couple games. I mean, the two contests in Rapid City last weekend, he stopped 69 of 73. And last Saturday, stopped each of the last 32 shots that he saw. So face-off in the right circles, won by Greenville. Poisson, Ben's his first name, will skate around Utah's net as he gets held up by Antonacci. 24 seconds left. Now Antonacci comes out with a puck, and he'll fire it ahead as it bounces near the Greenville bench. 2-on-2 battle. Swamp Rabbits get it ahead. Antonacci challenges them at the Utah line and takes the puck away. 8 seconds left in the period. Hanson Bukata to the middle of the ice for Connors near Utah's bench. Now 2 seconds left. Hanson Bukata will saucer it ahead toward Geneva. It goes past him and all the way down. And time runs out here in the first period. As there really wasn't anything that stood out statistically. Both teams put together a good effort. Nasty with about a half minute left in the first period made a nice save on Polino. And we'll see what the off-ice officials have in terms of stats for us. You know, whether there was really an edge there, whether it was in hits or face-offs. Otherwise, it was a pretty evenly played first period where both teams got a good workout in. I got to imagine during the first intermission, John Buchanan and Ryan Anderson, they're going to be assessing what they saw. And same goes for the Greenville coaches as neither team really broke out in the first period, but both teams have to like their defensive efforts in the first 20 minutes of this series. When we come back, we'll try to recap statistically the first period, although mostly what we'll have is shots and hopefully some stats from the off-ice officials. We'll also go over some scores from around the world of sports, and we'll also check out the league standings as well. 20 minutes are in the books, and there's still no score here at Maverik Center. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier. Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier. BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Dash, official mobile auction platform. The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider. Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider. Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner. Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider. In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider. Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner. And Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. First intermission in the opener of this three-game series as the Grizzlies are taking on the Swamp Rabbits. It's the first ever meeting here at Maverik Center between these two clubs. It's the fourth ever meeting. Utah's 3-0 all-time against Greenville. Well, there wasn't a whole lot there to speak of statistically as Grizzlies were outshot 9-7 in the first period. Among the 7 shots, Mikey Coella had 2, and then 5 other Grizzlies with 1 shot, including Antonacci in his Maverik Center debut, along with Stucker, Friesen, Connors, and Danny Geniev. There was a centering pass with a couple minutes left where it kicked off a Greenville skate. It looked like Hanson Bukata with a great pass attempt towards Geniev. If that would have connected, could have been the first goal of the game. For Greenville on their 9 shots, Keaton Mastrodonato and Parker Berg had 2, and then 5 other Swamp Rabbits with 1 shot each, including O'Hara, Parker, Jack Brackett, along with Cole Fraser and Patrick Polino. And Polino's look, with about 33 seconds left in the first period, turned out to be the best save that Dominic Bassi made in the first period, as Polino tried to fire it under the right arm of Bassi, and Bassi did a good job just kind of collapsing the puck under his arm and under his blocker to stop play with 33 seconds left in the first period. And Dominic Bassi's really showing over the last couple of games why he was a draft pick by the Chicago Blackhawks in the 6th round in 2019. Isaiah Seville is getting the start for Greenville. First time he's played against the Grizzlies. He stopped all 7 shots he saw in the first period. Wasn't a single penalty that was committed in the first period. That's really not that unusual for the Grizzlies. They've done a great job staying out of the penalty box for the most part this year, and it looks like the referees this week will let them play, or at least that's what they've shown here in the first period. Grizzlies they've got the 3rd fewest penalty minutes in the league. So you're talking about, you really are talking about a club that does play a disciplined brand of hockey. The stats of the first period, Grizzlies had 4 scoring chances, and Greenville had 3. Face-off battle won by the Grizzlies 12-9 in the first period. Grizzlies won the battle of the hits 8-6. Greenville had 6 giveaways, and Utah had 4. And when you think about that giveaway category, I think back to kind of a strategy, and really it's something the Grizzlies started about a month ago on the road, that 2-game series against Kansas City and then Tulsa, December 21st, the 3-game series on the road before the Christmas break. Grizzlies did a great job of just challenging the opposition in their own zone, forcing the opposing team's defensemen to make quick and good decisions with the puck and really see if they can force turnovers. And the Grizzlies have had a lot of success in that category so far this season. And really it's kind of a bit of a gambling style, a little bit of an aggressive style, just kind of picking up the opposition full ice or like that, kind of making them play a 200-foot game. And, some of the Grizzlies players talked before the season, and they even talked over the last couple of weeks about wanting to be a tough team to play against. And the Grizzlies, really the first month and a half, were a tough team to play against, and Utah's trying to get back to that. And I think they took a lot of strides in that last weekend against Rapid City, in particular in the first 2 games of the series. And so we did see Utah challenging Greenville quite a bit, and that might contribute to the 6 giveaways the Swamp Rabbits had in the first period, because Greenville does have a talented group of defensemen, but we'll see if the Grizzlies, and obviously it's 3 games in 4 days, it's not a 3-3, and so because of that, the Grizzlies can't be a little bit more aggressive, knowing they've got that day off on Thursday, and they're not going to be running on fumes by the end of the series nearly as much as they would be in a 3-3. And so you're kind of looking at, maybe the Grizzlies can force a turnover. I mean, we're still looking for something that could make the difference here in the game. We're kind of deadlocked through one period. Both teams pretty even in the stat sheet and haven't had a penalty. The Grizzlies' power play is 5 for 13 over the last 3 games, so I got to imagine part of Greenville's scouting report coming into play tonight was staying out of the penalty box because they had seen that the Grizzlies have been a hot power play as of late. So Zambonis are on the ice. Looks like everybody's having a good time here at Maverik Center. Other action across the league. Looks like Wheeling and Maine are tied at 2 heading into overtime. That one looks to be a fun one, as Wheeling and Maine tied at 2. Overtime's beginning over at Cross Insurance Arena over in Portland, Maine. Adirondack defeats Trois-Rivières 4-1. Late third period, Guy Carenza, Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators lead Florida 2-0. Orzek and Jack O'Brien have the Atlanta goals, and right now Ethan Hyder is pitching a 20-save shutout. As that one is late in regulation, Atlanta leads Florida 2-0. And how about the Gladiators? Atlanta is 25-9-1, and barring a last-minute miracle by Florida, it looks like Atlanta will get their 26th victory of the season. Early third period, Tahoe and Bloomington, as Bloomington's got a 2-1 lead, as Lee and Yeomans have goals, and Poliani as Tahoe's tally. And that is 17:30. That's the time remaining in the third period as Bloomington leads Tahoe 2-1. So that's the action across the league. We'll come back and check in on those NHL scores, maybe some other action across the world of sports. After one period here at Maverik Center, we're still looking for the game's first goal. But both teams got a pretty good workout in, and both teams are pretty solid defensively. Key save by Dominic Massey with 33 seconds left in the first period on Patrick Polino. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
First intermission here at Maverik Center. No score between the Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits. 3 games in the National Hockey League. The Grizzlies NHL affiliates in action right now. The Ottawa Senators lead the Grizzlies affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, 3-2, as there's 5:50 left in the third period. And Ottawa's starting to pick it up here over the last couple games after struggling a bit. Parker Kelly and Valerie Nishchukin have the Colorado goals. And 3 different Senators have found the back of the net. There's 5 minutes left in the third period. Only 14 shots for Colorado so far tonight. Ottawa leads 3-2. That game is played north of the border. One game that's gone final in the NHL. The Islanders defeat the Rangers 5-2. Andre Palat had 1 goal and 1 assist for the Islanders. Holmstrom had 1 goal and 2 assists. And the Islanders in the Battle of New York, they defeat the Rangers 5-2. Islanders outshot the Rangers 36-16. Game in progress, late third period, and they got a barn burner over in Columbus as the Flyers and Blue Jackets are tied at 3. So that's certainly an interesting one. Charlie Coyle with the big goal for Columbus. Travis Konechny has all 3 of the Flyers' goals. He's picked up a hat trick, and that'll be an interesting one to see. It's on national TV on TNT, and they're late in regulation. Flyers and Blue Jackets are tied at 3. Don't forget, this is just the opener of a 3-game series. Make sure to join us on Friday night, as we're going to have a ton of fun here at Maverik Center. That'll be the second of this 3-game set. And then Saturday night will be the final Guns N' Hoses Classic in team history. There's going to be 3 charity games beginning at noon. And the skill level does get better as the charity games progress. And that final charity game will be very spirited, considering it'll be the final Guns N' Hoses Classic in team history. Then obviously at 7 o'clock, the Grizzlies will face the Swamp Rabbits. Now, if you get a ticket to the Grizzlies game that night, it is good to get you in for the 3 charity games in the afternoons. Make sure to get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com, and you want to make sure to get them now because it does look like we're going to have a massive crowd. And even if you don't come to the charity games, you want to make sure to get here early enough because parking is going to be a little bit difficult because of just how big the crowd is projected to be on Saturday night. We're certainly looking forward to seeing the huge crowd here at Maverik Center, and it's going to be, well, what's that word? Fun. That's what we're going to have this weekend and all year long here with the Utah Grizzlies in their final hunt for a Kelly Cup. Trying to kind of break down some of the stats to figure out how to break the deadlock. The Grizzlies did have a slight edge in the faceoff battle, 12-9. Greenville did have 6 giveaways in the first period. And as you mentioned, can the Grizzlies be aggressive and play with confidence just the way they did in the first 2 games against Rapid City and see if they can force a few more turnovers and turn those into maybe one of those turnovers, maybe turn it into the first goal of the game. Play was pretty physical at times in the first period, so I got to imagine things are going to tighten up just a little bit, and we might see some more power plays or penalty kills in the second period. So good Wednesday night crowd. We're hoping for a bigger crowd on Friday, and obviously the Guns N' Hoses Classic as we honor police officers and first responders and firefighters, and just overall it's going to be a fun night here on Saturday, January 31st. Don't forget, next week, the Grizzlies will be on the road for a 3-game series against the Tahoe Night Monsters on February 4th, 6th, and 7th. And then the Grizzlies come back home, beginning a homestand February 10th against the Idaho Steelheads. That's the makeup game from December 26th, where they had the players strike the first 2 days after the Christmas break. And so that's going to be February 10th against the Idaho Steelheads. And then the Bloomington Bison come to town for a 3-game series on President's Day week. Canes are dancing and having a good time here at Maverik Center, and make sure to join us later on this week as we're going to try to have, what's that word again? Fun. That's exactly what we're going to have here this weekend as the Grizzlies continue their battle with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Team leaders, it's certainly been fun to see a few statistical categories, and it's been fun to see Danny Genev and Reed Lebster go back and forth in terms of the team leadership and points, with 7 points that Lebster scored last weekend against Rapid City, and Danny Genev picking up 4 or 5 points last week against Rapid City. They're now tied for the club lead with 33 points. Lebster leads the Grizzlies with 21 goals, and Genev leads Utah with 20 assists. Stepan Timofeyev isn't in the lineup tonight, but it looked like he is inching a little bit closer to returning. I think he's hoping to get back later on this week facing his former team, as he was a member of the Swamp Rabbits to start the year, and Utah acquired him in a trade for Dante Sheriff. Power play points have certainly been interesting, and I'd like to see the Grizzlies get some power play opportunities because that's been really rolling as of late, as the Grizzlies have had a 5-man unit that have been playing with a ton of chemistry, and that is Lebster, Friesen, Gratton, Genev, and Handsome Yukata. They've really done a great job passing the puck and finding the open shooter, and they've really racked up some power play points as of late, to the point where Utah is now tied for 9th in the league with a 20% power play percentage. Scoring the first goal is certainly going to be big for the Grizzlies, and it has been big all year long. After all, Utah is 11-6-1 when scoring first, but they've just won 4 games this year when the opposition scored first. We'll come back and have second period action on the other side. You've been tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. We're about set for second period action here as the Grizzlies take on the Swamp Rabbits. It's the first ever meeting for Greenville here in the Salt Lake Valley. Fourth meeting all time between the clubs. It's interesting, the Grizzlies got a 3-1 victory on opening night against Greenville, but none of the players that scored a point for Utah in that game are on the current roster. Garrett Pike had 2 goals. Ty Voigt added an empty netter. And Dryden McKay picked up the victory in net. Utah also got points with assists from Neil Shea, Luke Manning, who each out with lower body injuries, and Mick Messner, obviously left for a club in Europe early in the season. So here to start the second period, the Grizzlies will start out with a forward line of Riley Connors, centering with Genevieve on the left wing and Mikey Quella on the right side, and Luke Salem and Robbie Stucker, the starting defensive pairing. And for Greenville, it's going to be Iso Guy with O'Hara and Masha Donato, and a defensive pairing of Parker Berg and Jake Murray. 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock, and we're underway for the start of the second period. Grizzlies skate from left to right as we see it from high atop section 114. Swamp Rabbits left winging out towards Berg off his stick as Quella gets it towards Stucker. Stucker wobbles it in as the puck ricochets off the far corner on this fresh sheet of ice. As Utah on the right wing, Genevieve will spin it around the boards. Nobody was hanging out in the left point as it goes all the way deep towards Utah ice. Salem strides after it. Oh, he just about lost his balance. He got it back. Salem ahead towards Connors, but it goes past him to center ice. As Greenville whips it back in. Bassey plays behind his net, and he'll tap it to the near goal line. Salem gets it as it looks like the ice still a little bit slippery. As Genevieve over in the right corner gets the puck, and he'll accelerate along the far wing boards, and he gets tripped up by Dante Sheriff. Modry trying to throw it back into the Grizzly zone as he touches it up. Sheriff will skate towards the penalty box, and doesn't even look like he argues the case. Dante Sheriff gets 2 minutes for tripping, and the Grizzlies will get their first power play of the game. So Utah is hoping that this power play can break the deadlock as we're scoreless. 19-11 is left in the second period. Sheriff didn't really argue the case. It was one of those where it was actually the back heel of Dante Sheriff. He wasn't even looking at Genevieve. Both guys wear number 26. Genevieve hit the ice and drew the penalty. It's been a really strong 5-man unit for the Grizzlies on this power play. The party of 5 is Genevieve, Friesen, Grattan, and those are the 3 down low. Up top is Hanson Bukata and Reed Lebster. Thanks for hanging out in this Flow Hockey and YouTube simulcast. YouTube is the audio version of Utah Grizzlies broadcasts, and obviously Flow Hockey, exclusive streaming provider, as Greenville. Shandor will ice it all the way down ice. There's some redundancy. Ice it all the way down ice. English is hard sometimes. Genevieve crosses center ice, splits a double team, kind of jumping around Shandor and Fraser. As puck goes to the middle of the ice, Greenville gets it. And they will backhand it all the way towards Bassey as the puck gets about 6 feet of air under it. Greenville does make quick decisions with the puck on the penalty kill. They are 83.8%, one of the better units in the league. Lebster gets the puck down the middle of the ice, across the center, accelerates right wing. Lebster drops it off for Hanson Bukata over to Grattan, who was outstanding on the power play last weekend. Up top for Lebster. Now Hanson Bukata feeds to Genevieve. Danny Genevieve. He danced around, solicits it to the right corner for Grattan, but it goes past him. Greenville tosses back to a vacated right corner. Getting it is Tim Lovell, and he'll sky it over Hanson Bukata's head. Swamp Rabbits get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kills. We play 2 minutes of the second period as Greenville looked for a centering pass And it's picked off. Riley Connors crosses center ice. Connors over the offensive line, gets back checked, but keeps the puck. Left wing backhand shot goes wide as Connors chasing after it in the right corner. As Grizzlies have switched up 5 skaters as Coella battles along with Gillette and a couple Swamp Rabbits. John Gillette with the puck on the right side. The first-year pro at a Holy Cross as he fires it wide. Salem gets it in the left point, dangling back and forth. Negotiates his way towards the corner. Now backhands it up top to Stucker. Robbie Stucker down the middle of the ice. Righty shot. He scores! Robbie Stucker gets his 4th of the year. It's a power play goal as Utah takes a 1-0 lead. Just a quick-looking wrist shot for Robbie Stucker. Just kind of not sure if Gillette got a piece of it. It looked like it had some English towards the net. As Gillette tried to redirect it, but I think it was cleanly scored by Stucker. We'll see what the off-ice officials say. But the power play stays red hot. It's now the 4th straight game where the Grizzlies have a power play goal. Stucker gets his 4th of the year. Salem and John Gillette with the assists. So Salem gets his 10th assist of the year, and John Gillette gets his 7th helper of the campaign. So 6 power play goals for the Grizzlies over the last 3.5 games. It's 1-0 Utah. And as Grizzlies have the puck deep in their own zone. Gansky head to center ice off the Schreifel's stick as he tried to accept the puck at center ice. Out to center ice, Greenville over the offense line. They get around Sneath. Left side righty shot saved by Bassey. And he holds on. That shot was taken by Ryan O'Reilly. He just kind of slithered his way around 2 or 3 Grizzly defensemen and fired away from the left circle. So 16:57 left in the second period. The Grizzlies get on the board first. We've been talking about the importance of Utah scoring first, and particularly here at home. It's only the 6th time all year the Grizzlies have scored first at home. 6 of the 15 games this season. There's Ryan Anderson, the Grizzlies assistant coach. He's on show him on Flow Sports talking with the defensive unit. Drawn's going to be over in the left circle. Both teams have 1 shot here in the second period, but Utah made it count as Robbie Stucker with his 4th of the year. As he gets a power play going, we were talking about that power play unit, but it was the other unit that gets Utah on the board. For Luke Salem, he's played some good hockey as of late. He now has an assist in 5 of his last 10 games. He came into play a +2 in his last 3 contests. Off the draw, Atkinson. Left side, his shot goes wide. Puck towards the right corner as Utah comes up with it. They're in their own zone, skating from left to right. Friesen out to Lebster at center ice. Lebster accelerates over the offense line, drops for Gratton. Gratton backhands it off the skate of Wade Murphy. Murphy, who played with Idaho last few years, and he gave the Grizzlies fits, him and Ty Pelton Bice in particular. Atkinson chases after the puck deep in the Grizzly zone towards the corner. It's taken back by Utah. Antonacci, he avoids a check as, Antonacci, he gets belted by John Parker Jones. Antonacci goes 5'9", 175. John Parker Jones about a foot taller than him. Right side, John Parker Jones fumbles the puck in the right goal line. Actually, that was O'Reilly. As O'Reilly goes 6'2", 225 pounds. Swamp Rabbits have some big guys on their roster. As Shandor skates towards the high slot, lefty shot that's sticked away. Now back towards the high slot level. Dances around, but as he was spinning, lost the puck out to neutral ice. He puts both palms in the air, but offside of the Swamp Rabbits. So there's 15:51 left in the second. So it's going to be a neutral zone draw. I mentioned the Grizzlies. One of the key themes this week is getting things rolling at home, just the way they had on the road. And one of the big differences between the Grizzlies play at home versus on the road is the Grizzlies on the road have been playing with leads more frequently. And that hasn't been the case here at home. As Geneva was at neutral ice, tried to backhand it ahead and ended up out of play. So Draw's going to be back towards the Greenville bench with 15:44 left in the second. As Greenville trainer tosses one behind the Swamp Rabbits bench, about 2 rows back. And the fan's going to come away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. Greenville gets the puck at center ice. Berg will fire it around the wall. It hits a crazy stanchion and rolls towards the right circle as Dante Sheriff dangling back and forth, feeds up top, picked off by Genev. Danny Genev over to the middle of the ice for Coella, who backhands it in. Coella gets around Berg as Murray will pitchfork it around the boards. Now left wing shot saved by Seville. And puck goes towards the right side. Connors fakes a shot, gets the puck, whips it around the boards, but took a crazy angle off the broken stick that was laying on the end boards. Utah up top. It bounced off a Salem stick. Salem sporting a mustache. Looked like it was more of a beard last weekend. He's cut it off to a mustache. Sheriff closed the gap and hit Salem as Greenville loses the puck to Genev. Danny Genev, in terms of steals and forced giveaways, he probably is among league leaders in that category as well. Shop as Schreifels battles along the near wing boards, goes out to center ice. Isogai races down the middle of the ice, steps over the offensive line, fires towards the net and misses over Bassey's head. Up top, Modry lefty shot and it gets redirected as Mastrodonato was battling with Gillette out in front of the net. Mastrodonato, right corner, trying to saucer to head. It's sticked away by Bassey. Boy, Dominic Bassey's playing with a ton of confidence. Kennedy over the line, 3-on-3, skates towards the left side, feathers one out in front as Schreifels, the net crashes open as we had multiple cutters towards the net. Puck ended up going past Kennedy on towards Schreifels, and Schreifels had a bit of a tough shooting angle as he was at the right goal line, but the net crashed open and it stopped play. As looked like a Greenville player who was trailing the play trying to keep up with Schreifels. Isogai was the one that crashed the net open. So Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw with 14-18 left in the second. The latest information on Grizzlies hockey, make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Instagram, as well as X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And obviously the Grizzlies have been superstars on TikTok for a few years now. Evan Friesen will take the draw. You see his father here quite a bit at Grizzlies games. As Friesen certainly has a lot of support at home. He wins the draw. Boilar, left point. And still skipping off a Greenville skate. As O'Hara steps over the offense line with speed, drops the Isogai left wing. His shot kicks off a Gansky skate and a stick and flies out of play. 14:06 left in the second. And the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Utah did have a bit of a shot advantage in the, or Greenville had a shot advantage. Grizzlies won the faceoff battle 12-9 in the first period. It's important for the Grizzlies to have a lead after two periods. And the Grizzlies have been pretty automatic when leading after two periods, where they've got a record of 10-0-2. As Remy Parker will take the draw against Evan Friesen. That's been the tough thing for the Grizzlies. They've only had a lead after two periods at home once this season. They're 1-0 in that category. Atkinson takes the puck, left point, and his shot goes wide. Might have redirected off a stick. As around Utah's net, going sprawling around as a Swamp Rabbit. That's Jack Brackett, wearing number 24. Grattan over the offensive line as he gets cut off by Lovell. As Greenville around the net off of Lebster's skate. Atkinson in the right corner jumps to avoid a Grattan check. Both guys are captains wearing number 59. As Atkinson drops it back behind his net for Tim Lovell, talented defenseman, who tattoos the puck off the near wing boards. Antonacci dives as he might have gotten tripped up by Parker. As the officials, for the most part, are going to let them play here this weekend. If this is any indication, Brackett gets the left wing feed from Lovell. As Brackett gets double-teamed along the near wing boards, Antonacci locates the puck, gets towards Mikey Coella. As Coella fires it around Utah's net off the glass. Hanson Mukata with a strong outlet pass to Connors. Riley Connors over the offense line, dangling back and forth. Righty shot. It's sticked away by Lovell, and it flies out of play. With 13:04 left in the second. Utah leads 1-0 on a power play goal from Robbie Stucker, 2:36 in. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverik Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
13:04 is left in the second period. Utah leads 1-0. Power play goal by Robbie Stucker, 2:36 in. And that's really been a strong defensive pairing, Stucker and Salem, and they combined for the goal. And John Gillette, the first-year pro at Holy Cross, gets his 7th assist of the year. Draws going to be over in the right circle. Riley Connors will take it with Geneva and Mikey Coella as Greenville wins the draw, and they'll move it ahead to Dante Sheriff, who's got good speed. Sheriff dangling back and forth, crosses center ice, and he'll pitch it into the vacant right corner. Sheriff collides with Stucker along the end boards behind Bassey's net. Stucker gets the puck, and he'll feed it off the far wing wall to Genev. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Genev sauces one across towards Stucker. Left wing feed, angle left to Genev, who skates towards the left circle. Shot sticked away by Seville, and it flies out of play. As now there's 12:35 left in the second. And the Grizzlies will have another offensive zone draw. Good outlet game by the Grizzlies. Getting to Genev in the left wing. Danny Genev, what can you say about the job he's done this season? As he came into play leading the league in shots on goal with 163. He's been outstanding no matter how you slice it up, just about any statistical categories, averaging about 6 shots per game over the last month. Greenville has the puck as they dangerously throw it in front of their own net. Now they get it and cross center ice. Right wing over the offense line is Berg as he gets hit by Boilard. Now Polino gets knifed away by Noah Gansky. Gansky's got an A on his sweater. Over towards TJ Sneath. He dumps into the right corner. Sneath gets around 2 Swamp Rabbits and pinned to the boards by Masha Donato. They'll make that Jake Murray number 5. As Gansky gets it back at the Utah line. As Boilard head off the stick of John Gillette. It will come off the ice at the end of a shift. Both teams playing kind of a patient, controlling game. No icing as Antonacci plays behind his net. Well, he cuts on a dime with ease. He's an outstanding skater. Gansky has the puck behind his own net. As the Grizzlies kind of mixing and matching the lines just a little bit, at least defensively. As Lepster, Friesen, and Gratner, the forward line for Utah. Out to center ice for Friesen, who dumps it in. As looks like the puck deflected off the glass and went out of play. As Friesen got hit in the back by a Swamp Rabbit as he was trying to accept the puck at near the Utah bench at center ice. So faceoff's going to be at center ice. As Antonacci talking things over with Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Friesen will take the draw. Friesen's really been a dependable performer since maybe the start of December. As he had an outstanding December, and he's really carried it over, and he's been solid on both ends of the ice here in January. Antonacci over towards Hansen-Bukata. We'll get it over towards Friesen off his stick, and it slides towards Seville, the Greenville goaltender. Ahead to center ice. Puck to the Utah line. Hansen-Bukata over towards Antonacci. He right wing feeds it out towards Friesen. Friesen dances as it's pushed back towards Grizzlies ice, and it was thrown in by Greenville, so icing on the Swamp Rabbits with 10:56 left in the second. Greenville pretty even in the stat sheet in terms of goals per game, goals allowed at 2.6 goals for and 2.8 goals against. They're pretty similar in terms of shots for and shots against. They're taking 30.7 shots per game on average and allowing 30.6. As draws in the right circle of the Swamp Rabbit zone after the icing as Stucker rolls it along the boards towards the left corner. Connors looks over both shoulders, gets it towards Mikey Coella. He gets his stick held up by Ryan O'Reilly. Now Coella gets up top. Now back off of Genev as Connors back towards Genev, who skates around Greenville's net. Genev trying to pedal towards the right corner as he gets hit by a big Swamp Rabbit. And that was Jacob Modry, number 44, the son of former Grizzly Yaroslav Modry. As puck back deep in the Grizzlies zone, Greenville fits in a line change as we're about halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair. Both teams have 11 shots, and the difference in the game is the Robbie Stucker power play goal. 2:36 into the second period, assisted by Salem and John Gillette. Stucker has it behind Utah's net. He'll fire it off the near wing boards to center ice as it goes past Mikey Coelho, backhanded ahead. Connors in the right corner. It's double teamed, and Swamp Rabbits come back up with it. Iso Guy left wing gets around Stucker. Iso Guy over in the left corner. Looked for a centering pass, but it looked like Masha Donato skated too fast, and pass ended up behind him as Connors fires it in from center ice. As Grizzlies fit in a line change. First of a 3-game set. It will be 3 games in 4 days. Both teams will be off tomorrow. As John Gillette knocks down a Swamp Rabbit as they're battling for a loose puck in the far corner, deep in the Swamp Rabbit zone. TJ Sneath gets up top. Boilar left wing. His lefty shot's blocked. Boilar gets it back, fires towards the net, and that one's sticked away. As Greenville back deep in their own zone. As they'll saucer it out to center ice, Boilar gets it tapped away. Left wing in the Grizzlies zone at the point. As Isogai over with Antonacci. Schreifels will fire it off the boards. The puck wobbles into the Swamp Rabbit zone. About 9 minutes left in the second period. Isogai at the Greenville line will plop one ahead. As Antonacci off his stick. As he collides with his teammate TJ Sneath. Both guys making their Maverik Center debuts. Freezing over to Antonacci right side. He tried to dump it in, but it didn't get very far as Masha Donato has it behind Greenville's net. And now a left wing feed out towards O'Hara. As O'Hara out to the right side over Masha Donato's stick. He gets it off the wall. Masha Donato feeds to the middle of the ice, but it couldn't be reached by Shandor. Grizzlies 1-on-2. Grattan over the offense line, skates towards the left circle. Now Grattan around Greenville's net. I was thinking about getting it to Freese, but didn't have much of a passing angle as Jake Murray was like a hawk shadowing him. It's puck back to neutral ice. Stucker fires it in as he collides along the near wing boards as Polino kind of pushed him along the wall. Patrick Polino was outstanding with Cincinnati a few years ago. Sheriff crosses center ice, steps over the offensive line onside as Shandor delayed offside, so he's hanging out the Utah line. Didn't want to play the puck, didn't want the offside to be called. And Gansky ended up playing it, and eventually the whistle blows. And Shandor, he was just kind of looking around. He was dancing at the line. The puck was inside the Grizzlies zone. Shandor was just kind of outside it, didn't want to play the puck. And then Gansky eventually played it. The whistle blew, and the draw is going to be in the Swamp Rabbit zone. So Connors will take the face-off. He's out there with Coella and Genev. As the Grizzlies are rolling with 16 skaters tonight, 10 forwards and 6 defensemen. In fact, the last time the Grizzlies had a full complement of 18 skaters was on Saturday, January 3rd against Wichita. And that was over 3 weeks ago. Grizzlies win the face-off as Salem around the boards deep in the Swamp Rabbit zone. Now Polino off towards Jake Murray as Murray directs it to his left for Shandor over the line as Shandor as he gets hit by Gansky as the puck goes towards the left corner. 2-on-2 battle. Now a 3-on-2 battle. And Salem joins the play. Now Genev joins to make it 4-2. Sheriff skates in, making it a 4-3 scrum with 4 Grizzlies in there. As up top, Berg keeps it in. Out to the middle of the ice. Murray fires lefty shot. It goes wide as Salem was battling with Sheriff in front of the net, and there just wasn't much of a shooting angle there towards Bassey. Grizzlies ice the puck as there's 7:23 left in the second. We've seen a crazy amount of icings. We've also seen both teams trying to hold back a little bit, not wanting to commit penalties. As really the difference in the game was the Grizzlies' power play goal, as Dante Sheriff got called for a trip 49 seconds into the second period. And late in the power play, in fact, there was just 13 seconds left in the power play when Salem fired away from the high slot into the back of the net for his 4th goal of the year. So faceoff's going to be in the left circle of the Grizzlies zone. Not many shots on either side. 12 shots for Greenville, 11 for Utah. So both goaltenders haven't seen a ton of action here so far. The Connors will take the draw for Utah. He's in his first full season as a pro. Grizzlies sky it out towards center ice, taken by Coella. As he's along the right wing, stops on a dime, feeds it towards Connors. Right side shot. It's kicked off the left pad of Seville. As Connors will come off the ice. Well, Riley Connors, he's going to be a good goal scorer for many years as a pro. He's just got that quick shot, and he releases it awfully quickly. It handcuffs goaltenders regularly. As Greenville danced around at neutral ice. It's taken by O'Hara at center ice. Neil Sky went on to Bass, who hits it with his blocker about shoulder higher, maybe even over his head as the puck ends up in the right corner. As a 3-on-3 scrum. Skrifel's in the area. As puck goes out towards center ice. As Hanson Bukata goes after a loose stick with Ryan O'Hara, as both their sticks were laying on the ice along the far wing boards. Mashadonado over the offense line. It gets knocked down by Antonacci. And that's going to be a penalty on Utah. Boy, tripping's going to be the call, and it looks like Greenville's going to get their first power play of the game as there's 6:26 left in the second period. Antonacci's just kind of standing in the middle of the ice. I don't think he can believe it. He wants to look at the video board at a replay as he's shaking his head back and forth. As he gets minutes for tripping, it looked like Antonacci and Mashadonado were both going after a loose puck. Actually, Mashadonado had the puck. But it looked like Mashadonado went down, and hard to tell where Antonacci's stick was. Didn't look like he verbally argued the case too much. But nevertheless, 2-minute penalty. Greenville's power play this year is 12.3%. Utah's penalty kill is 78.5% on the season. Grizzlies 1, Swamp Rabbits nothing. So draw's going to be over in the left circle. Dominic Massey's been solid so far. Both teams have 12 shots. Massey has stopped all 12 he has seen. Seville on the Greenville side, he stopped 11 of 12. Grizzlies win the faceoff, and they'll bring the puck along the far wing boards all the way down towards Isaiah Seville. Swamp Rabbits to the middle of the ice to get out towards the center red line. Off O'Hara's stick, it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Stucker slides along the middle of the ice and goes all the way down. As Seville cuts it off about 10 feet in front of his crease. As Berg will cross down the middle of the ice. He'll move it towards his right, looking for Lovell. Lovell couldn't locate it. And firing it back in deep in the Greenville zone is Danny Genev. Grizzlies will switch up and get 4 fresh skaters. Utah does have 5 shorthanded goals this season. Sheriff races over the offensive line, dumps it into the left corner. Sheriff fanned on the puck as he was trying to move it along the boards. 3-on-3 scrum over in the left corners. We've got just less than 5.5 minutes left in the second period. Grizzlies come out of the pile with the puck. Grattan will race out to center ice. 2-on-2. Crosses center. He'll veer off to his right. Now Grattan backhand shot. Saved by Seville. And Greenville comes back up with it. Chandor at the puck as the Grizzlies will once again switch up forwards. Last Friday, Aiden Hanson-Bukata scored a 3-on-5 shorthanded goal. And that was late in the second period last Friday in the opener of that 3-game set over in the Black Hills. Gillette ahead towards Kennedy, but Polino took it away from him. Iso guy back in his own zone as there's less than 30 seconds left in the power play. Greenville hasn't fired away yet on Dominic Massey on the man advantage, but the Grizzlies do have 1 shot on Seville on this Greenville power play. Polino drops to Iso guy, cross-ice feed, right wing, righty shot goes wide. That shot was taken by Wade Murphy, who has 4 goals in 26 games this season. Atkinson fumbled the puck as he was trying to move it cross-ice. And Gillette clears it all the way out. So Grizzlies are back at full strength. Greenville crosses center ice. Atkinson takes it away. Great Lepster's got a breakaway along the right wing. He fires a righty shot. Save. Rebound shot. Oh, it looked like Friesen didn't get much of a second attempt as Lepster skates along the left goal line. And Stucker knifes it towards his left. Boy, Friesen looked like he had a second chance there on the rebound of the Lepster shot, but just didn't get much of a shot off there. Didn't have much of an angle. Right wing, righty shot to score. And the Swamp Rabbits get on the board as Ryan O'Reilly gets his 8th of the year. And we're now tied with less than 4 minutes left in the second. As in the transition game, O'Reilly just on the right side. Toe drag. And I think Massey, it looked like Stucker was right in front of O'Reilly, and I think Stucker just kind of accidentally screened his goaltender. As a quick-looking wrist shot by O'Reilly, and it looked like Massey was late to see it. And as a result, Ryan O'Reilly gets the goal, which is his 8th of the year, assisted by Mastrodonado and Josh Atkinson. Atkinson with his 13th helper of the year. So we're tied at 1 late in the second period. Grizzlies have outshot the Swamp Rabbits 15-13. As puck's in the left corner of the Grizzlies zone. Antonacci hanging out with Poisson. Now left point. Modry fires it in deep as it ricochets off the glass behind Bassey's left shoulder. Puck out to center ice. It's taken by Riley Connors. He enters from the left wing. As Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Connors around the net looking for a wraparound, and it's sticked away by Modry. For a guy that's 6'6", Modry moves around pretty well. Modry around the net towards Atkinson. Atkinson outlets it, but it's behind Remy Parker, and it goes all the way down for a Greenville icing. So there's 3 minutes and 7 seconds left in the second period. So the Grizzlies got on the board 2:36 in with Stucker getting a power play goal from Salem and Gillette. And 16:02 in it was Ryan O'Reilly scoring from the right wing with Mastrodonado, and Atkinson getting the assist. As we mentioned, Stucker is just there kind of trying to either block the shot or block the angle of O'Reilly. And as O'Reilly ended up just right in front of Stucker as they showed the replay behind Utah's net. It looked like, unfortunately, there was a bit of a screen there as Bassey was late to see it. And Utah gets called for icing as there's 2:52 left in the second. So draw's going to come back towards Bassey as we've had an interesting one here so far. As we're deadlocked at 1, opener of a 3-game set. During the second intermission, we'll have the Coca-Cola can race. We're certainly looking forward to that. In fact, if the can race happens right after the second period, we'll keep it right here to make sure that we give live play-by-play of the can race. One of hockey's great traditions that's lasted at least, I'd say, 2 years here at Maverik Center. From neutral ice, the Swamp Rabbits get it back in. Now right wing shot and a score. As Bassey played the puck behind his net, moved it towards the right side, and Dante Sheriff fired a quick wrist shot past Bassey before he was able to recover. So Sheriff gets his 6th of the year. And it's now a 2-1 Greenville lead. Like Bassey just rolled the puck along the right wing boards, then tried to come back in front of his net, and then before he was able to recover, Sheriff fired a quick wrist shot past Bassey. So 2 unanswered goals. That's going to be unassisted as Sheriff gets his 6th of the year. And that is 17:25 into the second period. So it's now 2-1 Greenville, and the Grizzlies are looking to find a way here over the next couple shifts to get momentum back into this game. As Salem head towards Grattan as he battles with Polino. As Salem gets the puck skating around Utah's net. Salem curls the puck back to the spot he vacated in the far corner for Grattan, who will sky it out to center ice as it ricochets off of Lebster's skate. Lebster gets the puck on the left side. He'll fire it back in deep. As Friesen gets tripped up, Grizzlies bench wants a penalty. None to be had, though, as Friesen back to his feet. As Polino back in the right corner. Battles with Salem. Polino kicks it off the leg of one of the referees. Now up top. Stucker fakes a one-timer, and he gets his pocket picked by Shandor. Shandor down the right wing. He'll take a lefty shot. Goes wide as he missed the net stick side on Bassey. Sheriff to the middle of the ice. Lefty shot. And Shandor fanned on it a little bit. As a minute and a half is left in the second period. As Lovell gets the puck on the right side, dangling back and forth. He gets up top. Shandor, lefty shot blocker saved by Bassey. Rebound towards the left wing boards. Atkinson drops it for Sheriff, who skates towards the left side. Sheriff played in this building a few times as a member of the Tulsa Oilers. Sheriff with a cross check to the back of Salem, no call. As taking the puck is Tim Lovell, who skates around his own net. Lovell with the left wing feed out to O'Hara. Ryan O'Hara out to center ice, gets around Antonacci, skates in, backhand shot saved by Bassey, but what a great move by O'Hara to even get the shot off, getting around Utah's defense. Out to the left corner, Lovell gets it off the boards. Less than a minute left in the second period. As Atkinson, he gets it poked away by Genev. Genev got challenged at neutral ice by Lovell. Those guys battled in the Big Ten. Genev with Penn State, Lovell with Michigan. Greenville right wing. Shot is blocked as Coella gets taken away from behind. Masher Donato in the left wing. He's the point. He'll fire it across. Masher wants it back. Starting pass. Shot. Bassey dives towards his left. He cuts it off as Connors with the puck as it goes out towards center ice. Coella dumps it in as Atkinson was battling. Now it's behind Greenville's net. Swamp Rabbits will slow it down. 5 seconds left in the period, and they'll just watch the time run out. Well, the Grizzlies had a 1-0 lead after the power play goal by Stucker, but 2 unanswered goals over a stretch of 1 minute and 23 seconds as Ryan O'Reilly scored from the right wing to tie it up. 16:02 in. And then Dante Sheriff unassisted as Bassey just rolled the puck along the boards. Sheriff collected the puck, and Bassey tried to come around his net to come back in front of the crease, but Sheriff with a quick-looking wrist shot was able to fire it past Bassey before Bassey was able to get back in front of his net. And so that's really the difference in the game. So we had mentioned the Grizzlies and their need to score first, and they did that, getting the first goal, but Greenville has the 2-1 lead after 40 minutes of play. Seems like both teams want to play a bit of a controlled style, and that's what we've seen is 2 Swamp Rabbits are having a conversation with the linesman. Noah Gansky's going to stand at center ice just to kind of even the score up a little bit. As John Parker Jones doing a little bit of politicking along with another Swamp Rabbit. Gansky, who's just about as big as Parker Jones, just making sure it's not a one-way conversation. So when we come back, we'll talk some hockey and go over the first 40 minutes. But let's see. We got the Coca-Cola can race as one of hockey's great traditions. One of the things every time you got a Coca-Cola can race, you always ask yourself, is Grisby going to interfere in this thing in any way, shape, or form? So see if the Grizzlies have a third period comeback in them. Haven't seen many shots on either side. Greenville with 16 and Utah with 14 through 2 periods. And so the shot count was a dead even, 7 apiece in the second period. So we got the Coca-Cola can race. We have Fanta, Diet Coke, Coca-Cola, and Sprite. As Chloe's the MC, she is going to demonstrate the instructions. Sprite has 2 victories. Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, and Fanta each have 1 win on the season. Later on in the second intermission, we'll go over the scoring and the stats of the second period. So we got Fanta, Diet Coke, Coca-Cola, and Sprite. Chloe says, on your mark, get set, and go. And they're off. Coca-Cola's got an early lead. Grisby tries to cut off Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola and Fanta in a dead heat. As they get towards the net on the left side, Coca-Cola keeps his balance. So does Fanta. Diet Coke's in third, Sprite's in fourth. Now they come down the stretch. Coca-Cola at center ice. Fanta's at center ice. As Grisby throws Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola and Fanta both fall down. Coke spills again. Fanta crosses the finish line. Coca-Cola is going to finish second. Sprite in third. And Diet Coke will be in fourth and finish last. So it looked like Grisby had a beef with Coca-Cola as Grisby tried to push Coca-Cola, and then Coke and Fanta both fell down. Coca-Cola trying to get back to its feet, and then Coke fell again. And Fanta just kind of cruised at about half speed past the goal line. So looks like Fanta gets its second victory of the season. Fanta and Sprite are now tied at 2 victories apiece. When we come back, we will recap the first 2 periods statistically and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. It's Greenville 2, Utah 1. Here after 40 minutes of play, this is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider. Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider. Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner. Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider. In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider. Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner. And Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverik Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
After two periods, Greenville leads Utah 2-1 here in the opener of this three-game series. It's the second of four meetings this season between the clubs. Utah got a 3-1 victory on opening night, October 17th, over at Bond Secures Wellness Arena. Nobody scored in the first period. Greenville outshot Utah 9-7. In the second period, both teams had 7 shots. Utah got an early second period power play as Dante Sheriff got a tripping minor 49 seconds in, and Sheriff didn't. It was one of those where Genev was skating nearby, and Genev tripped over the back heel of the left skate of Sheriff. He fell down, and even though Sheriff, I'm not sure, saw Genev, he really didn't make any motion with the skate towards Genev. He picked up a tripping minor, and Utah got a power play. And on that power play, Grizzlies only had one shot, but they made it count as Robbie Stucker just threw kind of a wrister that rose towards the net. Gillette was out in front trying to redirect it, but he didn't get a piece of it as Stucker got his 4th of the year. Salem and Gillette with the assist, and that gave Utah a 1-0 lead. And then Ryan O'Reilly scored from the right wing with Masha Donato, and Atkinson gained the assist. About 10 seconds before that, Lepster had a breakaway, and it looked like Utah could have made it 2-0. And then Friesen had a rebound and just didn't get, wasn't able to collect the puck enough to get a good shot off. And then Greenville came back the other way and scored. Then Dante Sheriff made it a 2-1 game. If you're watching on Flow Sports, there's the stats of the second period. As Massey had the puck and just rolled it along the right wing, along the far side, and he was behind his net. Sheriff got the puck and fired it towards the back of the net before Massey was able to come back around and get himself back in a position to make the save. So Greenville leads 2-1, and that's the difference in the game. I remember a similar move in Orlando. Garrett Metcalf tried to roll the puck along the boards and got cut off by an Orlando player and turned into a goal. So it's one of those things that just happens sometimes, and it was a good play by Sheriff, utilizing good hands, and he was able to fire a shot pretty quickly. So that's the difference in the game. In terms of second period second period stats, both teams had 4 scoring chances in the second period. Both teams won 9 faceoffs in the second. Both had 7 shots. Hits were pretty close to even. Grizzlies with 4, Greenville with 5. Utah had 5 giveaways, and Greenville had 3. So in terms of giveaways through 2 periods, both teams have 9. In terms of hits, Grizzlies with 11 and Greenville with 12 through 2 periods. A face-off battle, Grizzlies have a slight edge there, 21-18 through 2 periods. And in terms of scoring chances, Grizzlies have 8 and Greenville has 7. So really, it's been a very evenly played game, and just that Sheriff goal unassisted. Right now, that's the difference in the game. Utah will be looking to find a way to regain momentum here early in the second period. In terms of the shot counts, Mikey Coella led the way with 3. Stucker, Friesen, Connors, and Danny Genev have 2 shots each, and a handful of Grizzlies with 1. For the Swamp Rabbits, there are 16 shots. A handful of players with 2 shots each, including Masha Donato, Chandor, along with O'Reilly, O'Hara, and Berg. And then 6 other Greenville skaters with 1 shot through 2 periods. Isaiah Seville has saved 13 of 14 for Greenville. First time he's played against the Grizzlies. And for Dominic Massey, he has stopped 14 of 16. Utah's 1 for 1 on the power play. Greenville is 0 for 1. Before we go to break, we'll go over some other scores from around the league. It's the only game in progress right now in the league, as the other 4 games have all gone final. In a shootout, Maine defeats Wheeling 3-2. The shootout game winner was scored by Sebastian Vimar. He scored in the 5th round of the shootout for Maine, as the Mariners get a 3-2 victory over the Wheeling Nailers. Adirondack defeats Trois Rivières 4-1. Atlanta gets a 21-save shutout from Ethan Hyder and goals from Orzek and Jack O'Brien. So Atlanta gets their 26th victory of the year, and they defeat Florida 2-0. And Bloomington gets a 4-1 victory over Tahoe. As Bloomington will be here at Maverik Center a couple weeks from now for a big 3-game series on President's Day week, February 13th, 14th, and 16th. When we come back, we'll go over some NHL scores. There's 3 of them, 3 NHL games tonight, including the Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche. We'll talk some NHL hockey on the other side, as after 2 periods here at Maverik Center, Greenville leads Utah 2-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverik Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Welcome back to Maverik Center. After 2 periods, Greenville leads Utah 2-1. 3 games in the National Hockey League as the Colorado Avalanche is in action against the Ottawa Senators. And Ottawa comes away with a 5-2 home victory as Nick Cousins scored 1 goal. Tim Stutzla had 1 goal and 1 assist, and Claude Giroux added a goal. Colorado got goals from Parker Kelly as well as Valerie Nistushkin. It's not that hard of a say, Nistushkin. But nevertheless, English is hard sometimes, and it's certainly been difficult tonight. Ottawa outshot Colorado 23-18, and the Senators get a 5-2 victory over the Grizzlies NHL affiliate on this Wednesday night. 5-2 is also the final score as the Islanders defeat the Rangers. Andre Palat had a big game for New York as he had 1 goal and 1 assist. That's the Islanders. As Palat, he had a big game. He was the number 1 star, and the Islanders had a 36-16 edge in the shot count over the Rangers. Boy, things have been a rough go of it for the New York Rangers, Tim Broussard's favorite team, as they lose 5-2 to the New York Islanders. And the other game that's gone final, Blue Jackets get a 5-3 victory over the Philadelphia Flyers. Travis Konechny had all 3 of Philadelphia's goals. Sean Monahan scored the game winner late in regulation, and then the Blue Jackets added an empty netter towards the end. Charlie Coyle had 1 goal and 1 assist as Columbus defeats Philly 5-3. One NBA game of note as the Jazz are over at Delta Center taking on the Golden State Warriors. And late in the 3rd quarter, Golden State leads Utah 99-88. So that's some of the action across the world of sports here on this Wednesday night. First of a 3-game series here between the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits. Make sure to join us on Friday night. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. But we really want to see it here at Maverik Center as we're having fun watching Utah's fastest-growing sport. And we're going to have a ton of home games here in the second half of the season. So make sure to get your tickets all year long at UtahGrizzlies.com. And obviously Friday at 7 o'clock. And then the final Guns N' Hoses Classic will be Saturdays. We honor local police officers, firefighters, and first responders. There'll be 3 charity games in the afternoon, beginning at 12 o'clock, leading up to the Grizzlies game at 7 p.m. As Grizzlies will finish up their 3-game series with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. And then Utah will be on the road next week, taking on the Tahoe Night Monsters in a 3-game series, February 4th, 6th, and 7th. When we come back, we'll have third period action on the other side. Outside of the goal by Dante Sheriff, unassisted, 17:25 into the second period. Nobody scored in the first period, so a little bit more action offensively in the second, but really it seems like both teams want to play a controlled style. Both teams seem to want to place an emphasis on staying out of the penalty box and playing a mistake-free game and forcing the other teams to make mistakes. And it does seem like, we talked about that filling out process early in the first period. It seems like we never broken free of it, as both teams, they spend this entire game just trying to figure out each other. But both teams have put together a pretty good defensive efforts for the most part over the first 40 minutes. We'll see if the Grizzlies can break through. After all, they've only had one power play, and that was early in the second period, and they capitalized on it. Utah is 6 for 14 on the power play over the last 3.5 games, 3 games and 2 periods into their fourth game. So I think for the Grizzlies, they want to see if they can push the tempo a little bit and maybe see if they can utilize their speed to draw some penalties here in the third period. And once they get those power plays, utilize the great passing skills of Hanson Mukata and Danny Genev and, other guys like that. Evan Frieson's been a pretty good playmaker, and see if they can find a way to get a goal on what seems to be a pretty good goaltender in Isaiah Seville. So when we come back, we'll have third period action as fans are dancing and having a good time as we're hanging out high atop Section 114. Thanks to everybody for joining us here this evening. We'll come back and see how this third period plays out. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverik Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
We're about set for third period action as the Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. We'll see what the Grizzlies can do here in the third period. As the lone Utah goal was scored by Robbie Stucker on a power play, 2:36 in. And Greenville had second period goals from Ryan O'Reilly and Dante Sheriff. In terms of the shot count, it's always interesting watching Utah's shots as Mikey Quella led the way with 3. Robbie Stucker, Evan Friesen, Riley Connors, and Danny Genev each have 2. For Danny Genev, you talk about a guy that creates great scoring opportunities for himself as well as his teammates. And for Genev, in terms of the shot count recently, it's been unbelievable. It really has been all season long. He's had 2 games here in the month of January where he's had at least 10 shots. And over his last 15 games, he's taken 83 shots, which is an average of about 5.5 per game. And Genev has not missed a game yet. He's appeared in all 40 games this season. And in 30 of the 39 games, he has had 3 or more shots. Utah will start the third period with a forward line of Tyler Gratton, Evan Friesen, and Reed Lebster, and a defensive pairing of Robbie Stucker and Luke Salem. 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock. The puck is dropped and we're underway. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it from high atop section 114. As Jake Murray bounced one off of Friesen's stick. Grizzlies up with it. Stucker angles one to his left for Gratton, a long-range feed. As Gratton battles with O'Hara. As the puck back to the right side. As it flies off the stick of Greenville and out of play. As Reed Lebster tried to reverse the puck towards where Gratton was. And the sky's out of play. The Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw 21 seconds into the third period. So same five on the ice. Luke Salem and Robbie Stucker have been paired together for the last handful of games, and they've really developed quite a chemistry. As that seems to be a pretty good pairing. They've got skills that complement each other. You know, the old saying, opposites attract, and it looks like for Salem and Stucker, that's definitely been the case. As off the draw, right wing shot saved by Seville. He was just sent over to Greenville as Stucker plays soccer at the Greenville line and kicks it towards the Swamp Rabbit as both teams spread the ice. As taking the puck is Ryan O'Hara. He skates around the center ice logo as if it's the locker room of the home team. You can't touch the logo. As Salem fires it all the way down ice, and icing is called. Lebster tried to close the gap, and Lebster thought that he had gotten down there to negate the icing, but the whistle blows with 19:16 left in the third. This will be one of the final weekends where the Grizzlies wear these green alternate jerseys. Certainly a sharp look. I actually had to about a month ago go to the team store and get one of those jerseys. And I got one sitting at home. Probably would wear them for one of the road games, but I'm not sure if that's appropriate or not, you know, wearing a jersey of, I probably could, at least here, obviously voice of the Grizzlies, as Genev steps over the offensive line, gets hit in the right point. Sheriff with a long-range feed off a Shandor stick, and it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Anthony Bucata runs it down, a drop of for Antonacci. Antonacci out to center ice for Genev. Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State, dumps it in. Coella gets blasted by Atkinson. Boy, Josh Atkinson's delivered some hits tonight. Anthony Bucata backhands it ahead. And go right toward Genev. He feeds to Connors. Connors off his stick as he tried to push it behind his back. As Polino over the offense line with momentum. Skates towards the right circle. Drops off. Sheriff one-timer. And he fanned on it as it rolls towards Antonacci. Now it's the left wing. Greenville has it back. Polino dances around in the left circle as he fires onto Bassey's save. Kicks off the stick. As looking for the rebound was Frazier. And he missed wide. Sheriff sauced one across. Taken away by Antonacci. Now it's a center ice. Polino regathers it. I try to feather it back towards Sheriff. Coella gets the puck and he skies it out of play. As a fan in about row 2 of section 103 will come away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. So faceoff's going to be at center ice. The Grizzlies will get the forward line of Sean Kennedy, John Gillette, and Henri Schreifels. Youngster gets the puck. That's certainly great to see. We'll see if during the third period we can get the official attendance for tonight's game as Greenville wins the draw. It's a 2-1 Swamp Rabbits lead here early in the third period. Not many shots on either side as it's skied in by Wade Murphy, who's familiar with this building. He played with Idaho for a couple years. He was one of their best forwards. As Gillette off the boards ahead to Schreifels, as Henri Schreifels, he'll throw it in. It's Schreifels' third game as a Grizzly and his fourth as a pro. He appeared in one game last season with Wheeling. Swamp Rabbits back in their own zone. Modria cross ice to Frazier. Ahead to Murphy off his stick. Murphy wearing number 16 deep in the Grizzly zone. Gansky extends a stick to get it behind Bassey's net. Gansky dancing back and forth as the Grizzlies will switch up forwards. As Friesen, Gratton, and Lebster enter the ice. Lebster tied for second in the league with 21 goals coming into play as Lebster gets the puck at center ice. Left wing, bounce one off a Swamp Rabbit. Now Lebster fumbles the puck and it's taken by Greenville. High slot, lefty shot, saved by Bassey. That shot was taken by Remy Parker with a quick lefty shot. So he got knocked down trying to follow his own shot as Bassey made the save. Friesen at center ice collides with the Swamp Rabbit. We're 3 minutes into the third period, and Greenville leads 2-1. It's both teams playing a controlled style. Brackett just outside the right circle. He throws in the middle of the ice. Now back to the right side as Greenville couldn't get the pass towards the right goal line. Patrick Berg tried to get on his backhand. As Utah to the middle of the ice. Salem gets pushed towards the near wing boards on a rough ride from Remy Parker, goes 6'3", 186 pounds. Swamp Rabbits deep in the offensive zone. Level across towards Murray. Using the right point, gets it back in deep. As Greenville, Ryan O'Hara will drop it back to the spot he vacated. Level, Isogai, right wing, his shots blocked by Lebster's stick. Now Lebster gets the puck, skates towards the left corner. As he'll roll it along the boards. Stucker tried to shovel it ahead. Level collapsed the puck. Now Isogai to the right side. Feeds to the middle. It's taken away by Gratton. Ahead angle left towards Lebster. Gets triple teamed. Lebster trying to break free, but on the back check, Greenville took it away. Isogai over the offensive line. Around Handsome Yukata. As AHB throws Isogai along the glass. As the glass goes swaying back and forth. Antonacci out to center ice to Genev. He races along the left wing. Now he veers off to his right. Genev onside. Skates towards the right circle. Shot, kick, save off the right ankle for Seville. As Genev with a pretty good look. That's his third shot of the game. It's the 31st different game where he's had 3 or more shots this season. Asher Donato over in the near corner as he battles with Connors. They were teammates at the end of last season. As Fraser off the glass, the puck will roll towards the Utah line, accepted by Antonacci, and he'll zip it angle left as Coella, he gets blasted. I don't know what Fraser and Atkinson had against Coella going into this game, but Mikey Coella's taking some huge hits tonight. Wallart ahead towards center ice, taken back by Fraser, who moves it ahead along the near wing boards about 40 feet to Dante Sheriff. Now back to Fraser at the Greenville line. Fraser head towards Sheriff along the right wing. Over the offensive line, he'll drop it as Chandor, number 17, moves to the middle of the ice. It's collected by Kennedy. Sean Kennedy dangles back and forth left wing over the offensive blue as he falls down skating towards the corner. Swamp Rabbits, blue line to blue line feed off a Polino stick. Boiler with a big hit on Polino. Polino trying to gather his bearings. I think Polino got hurt on that play. Boy, Polino looks like he's hurt. As puck deep in the Greenville zone. As Sheriff is pushing Polino towards the bench, as Patrick Polino, he got hit pretty hard by Boilar. Now left wing. Shot was taken by Gillette, and on the follow-through, Dante Sheriff blasts Gillette as Seville makes the stop with 14-16 left in the third. It's like Sheriff wanted to hit somebody there after the big hit that Polino took. You got after Gillette, even though I believe it was Boilar that hit Polino. As the hitting's been picking up periodically, kind of from time to time, we've seen some hard-hitting shifts. As there's the Polino hit, and it was Boilar, and he just got Polino good. Polino was a little bit off balance. It looked like he was a little bit dazed after the hit. So draw's going to be in the left circle. It's going to be an offensive zone face-off for Utah, as there's 14-16 left in the third. Grisby thinks that a Swamp Rabbit is bear bait, according to the sign he's holding up. Grisby's getting up there in age. Utah wins the face-off. Friesen, I tried to center it towards Lebster out front. Lebster got a stick lifted. Salem in the left point. Back in deep to Lebster. Gets pushed by Murray. As Wade Murphy off this stick. Stucker gets it back. Gratton jumps around Murphy. As Tyler Gratton gets the loose puck in front of Utah's bench. Over to Stucker. Cross-ice feed to Salem. Luke Salem ahead to Lebster at the Greenville Blue. As he'll dump it in. Swamp Rabbits in a white jersey with white helmets and orange mixed in. Orange numbers, orange lettering. Pretty sharp-looking jersey. Ryan O'Reilly to the middle of the ice for Murray. Murray to the right wing as he loses control of the puck. Both teams having a tough time handling the puck. As looks like both clubs are a little bit off sync here in the series opener. As Greenville still in their own zone. As they're a pretty patient club, are the Swamp Rabbits. They're a team that seems to like to play a controlled brand of hockey. They've done a pretty good job with it. Cross-ice pass off a Handsome Yukata stick. Now AHB ahead towards Coella. As goes deep into the Swamp Rabbit zone. Coella chases after behind Greenville's net. Swamp Rabbits roll along the left wing. Handsome Yukata centers into Genev. Boy, but Danny didn't get all of it. And now Genev gets it back. As he skates down the middle of the ice, lefty shot goes over Seville. And he fired it high. Didn't look like he fired it wide, but just fired it high over Seville. Out to center ice. as Atkinson collides with Coella. Coella tried to return the favor. Now Connors down the middle. He fires a shot and he hits the crossbar. Boy, the iron unkind there as it's still a 2-1 game. Now right wing Gansky fires towards the net. Saved by Seville. Low liner taken by Noah Gansky, and Seville makes the stop about ankle high. Riley Connors had a pretty good look, but he just ricocheted off the crossbar. 2-1 Greenville with 12:24 left in the third. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
12 minutes and 24 seconds left in what's been a defensive battle as Greenville leads 2-1. Draw is going to be an offensive zone face-off for Utah in the right circle as Henri Schreifels will take the draw out there on the ice. And it's a pretty good story to see TJ Sneath making his league debut. You talk about what a journey he has had. He played with 3 different teams in the SBHL. He was really lighting up the scoreboard quite a bit in the Federal League over the last 2.5 years. He had 2 outstanding seasons with Motor City Rockers, where he had 38 goals in 70 games. And then this year, in 26 games with Topeka, he had 13 goals and 19 assists. After the timeout, they're deciding to go to video replay, I think just to make sure that the Riley Connors shot that rang off the crossbar that didn't cross the goal line. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to take a look at it to make sure that it wasn't a goal. Wasn't really anything that we saw live that would indicate that it was a goal, but it is possible maybe they saw something different. I think they just want to make sure that they got it right. Obviously, with goals being at a premium here tonight, and really for Greenville games, and we had mentioned it off the top, Greenville has been a pretty strong defensive team, and they like to play a controlled style of hockey, and it's kind of the style that the Grizzlies had kind of built over the last month, for about the first month and a half of the season. And then it seemed like once we hit mid-December, the Grizzlies opened it up quite a bit. And I think over the last month, we've seen the Grizzlies be a high shot volume type of club. And that's where Utah over the last 13 games has averaged 36 shots per game. And so it is a little bit surprising to see the shots even at 18 apiece, just based on where the Grizzlies have been firing early and often over the last 3 weeks or so. So referee comes out and says no goal. And that's Ian Rapp that signaled no goal. Scott Hamilton's going to chug a beer and slam it over his forehead. Takes the can and slams it over the forehead. Slams it once, twice, and now a third time. He wants it to stick on his head. And 4th time's a charm for Scott. Fans behind the Grizzlies bench having a good time. Draw one by Greenville. They're in their own zone, skating from left to right. Swamp Rabbits will sky it out towards center ice. Iso guy throws it in as Gansky and O'Hara give each other a rough ride behind Utah's bench, or behind Utah's net. As out to center ice, they're looking for John Gillette. It went past him and all the way down. No icing on the play, though. It's DJ Sneath on the ice, number 74, in kind of a multicolored stick. Boilard towards the left wing, now out to center ice. As Boilard will fire it around the boards. And it goes to the right corner as Berg over to Jake Murray. Murray, a talented 6'3" defenseman who's had some AHL time on his resume. Murray out to center ice down the middle. Now he splits around 5 Grizzlies and feeds to his right. As O'Hara dances around, right side, fires towards the net. On it, got redirected by Isogai's stick. And rolls wide towards the near goal line. Boilar saucer it to Gratton, who collects it with good hands. Gratton drops it for Friesen. Right wing lefty shot, saved by Seville. As puck back towards the right wing boards. Now taking it as Friesen over to Gratton, who gets pushed along the wall. Friesen gets it tapped away by Greenville as it goes around the Swamp Rabbits net. As Level will fire it off the near wing boards to Mastrodonato, who wobbles it towards the bench area at center ice. Gratton enters from the right wing, drops it back for Friesen. As Friesen at neutral ice will sky it towards Seville as the puck empty ops towards the Greenville backboard. Utah will switch up forwards as we're about halfway through the third period. Kind of a slow down game as Greenville now accelerates to get it across. Sheriff right wing, look to center it, and it kicks off of Bassey's left pad as the Grizzlies come back the other way. Genev couldn't collect the pass as he was skating towards neutral ice. As Friesen collides with Shandor. As Connors will sky it in. Seville just had it tap off his glove as he keeps the play alive. Over in the right corner of the offensive zone, Coella, Genev off his stick. Just offense seems to be a little bit off on the passes as Sheriff dumps it in from center ice. Antonacci slides one across towards Hanson Bukata, who gets across center ice. HB feeds it to Connors as Connors gets around Fraser. Now Fraser takes it away as Connors tried to get it to Genev. Murphy out to center ice, accelerates around Boilar. Now Murphy in the right wing off of Boilar as Boilar hit more boards than Murphy as he was getting after him behind Utah's net. Connors over the offensive blue, fakes it to Genev. Now Connors in the left wing. He fires the righty shot. Blocker saved by Seville. Remember, Seville catches with his right as the Swamp Rabbits move it deep into the Grizzlies zone. Coella collides with Parker Jones as Skansky to the middle of the ice for Boilar. And Boilar over towards Kennedy off his stick. Kennedy battles with Murray. Now Kennedy gets the left goal line. Gillette is lefty shot, and that one goes a little bit wide as Gillette didn't have much of a time. He didn't have much room to get a shot off, and Greenville will rainbow it into the Grizzlies zone for an icing as there's 9:09 left in the third. Both teams will be off tomorrow. Grizzlies haven't had many practices in. I'm not sure they're going to get one in tomorrow. Utah has been a bit shorthanded, and if you joined us a little bit late, scratches for Utah tonight are Colby Enns, Avery Winslow, Stepan Timofeyev, the former Swamp Rabbit, along with Rylan Kovacevic, Luke Manning, Neil Shea, Christoph Filion, and Mike Gillette. As whistle blows with 9:04 left in the third as the puck ended up towards Seville, who covered it up. Grizzlies are now up to 21 shots to Greenville's 18. For Utah, their offense, the one power play they got in the second period, they only had one shot, but Stucker made it count, 2:46 in, and then the Swamp Rabbits have responded with two unanswered. Ryan O'Reilly, 16:02 into the second. Dante Sheriff, 17:25 in. As Greenville ices the puck, and we've seen a crazy amount of icing calls here this evening. As both teams almost seems like want to play a similar brand of hockey. And so there's a little bit of that identity struggle where both teams want to dictate the tempo of this game. They're on Flow Sports and fans behind Chad Costello. Costello is very familiar with this building. Not only is a player with the Allen Americans and a few other teams in this league, and no doubt Costello, the current Greenville head coach, will be a Hall of Famer as a player in the next few years. As the Swamp Rabbits get the puck out to center ice off the boards, Greenville accelerates. Brackett gets pushed towards the wall by Hanson Bukata. Antonacci trying to get the puck as a bit of a scrum towards the left corner. Antonacci loses control of the puck down the middle of the ice. Lefty shot, and Parker didn't get much on it. As a scrum over towards the right corner, 2-on-2 battle. Now two other Grizzlies join the play. As a fan pounds the glass and has a good time. Kind of a youngster as the puck just kind of stays along the boards. Now the extended scrum. And Brackett trying to break free. Is Brackett trying to yank it? Gratton gets physical with Brackett. And coming out is Utah's Noah Gansky. They'll make that Lebster, number 23, over to Hanson Bukata, who drops for Antonacci. As Lebster, I try to get towards Hanson Bukata, but he just couldn't quite reach it near the Greenville line. Less than 8 minutes left in regulation. Swamp Rabbits lead the Grizzlies 2-1. Here in the series opener, Iso guy right side. Shot is blocked by AHB. He thought it went out of play, but the whistle never blew. Webster, 21 goals this season. He's got 4 game winners to lead the Grizzlies. Hanson Bukata over towards Boilar, sporting a beard. Facially kind of looks like Taylor Crunk. Freesing off the stick as he tried to get the hot pass and neutralized, but he was at the end of a shift. As Greenville still bit back deep in their own zone, kind of playing a controlled brand of hockey. As Coella over towards Genev, who right wings the backhand pass out to Connors, who dumps it in. Around the boards towards Mastrodonato. They're moving out towards neutralize, as Connors pitched it in, delayed offside. So Genev will skate back to neutralize. The Swamp Rabbits out to center ice as they get around Connors, and Jacob Modry dumps it in. As a big-time hit over in the right corner. Boy, Coella's taken about 5 or 6 huge hits. Kind of reminds me of Brent Jones, the former San Francisco 49ers tight end of the 1990s, who every game would take like 4 or 5 huge hits from the opposition. Modry, left wing, his shot is blocked by Mikey Coella. And Shandor will fire it towards the left corner boards. As Modry will get it towards the left wing. And I swear I didn't think about getting Brent Jones into the broadcast at some point tonight, but it was amazing. He was like a crash test dummy. Grizzlies will sky it, but it ends up towards the crease, so no icing. So the Grizzlies can fit in a line change. As about 6 minutes left in regulation. Stucker gets the puck behind his net. As Grizzlies out towards center ice. As Sneap dumps it into the right corner. Up top, Stucker dangling back and forth. Fires towards the net. Saved by Seville. He can't locate it. And Seville kicks it with his skate towards the far corner. Swamp Rabbits sky it into Grizzlies ice. Hanson Bukata runs it down as Sheriff closed the gap on him. HB to center ice. As Gillette over the offensive blue. High slot, lefty shot, and that's blocked away, and it goes out of play. 5:48 left in the third. We'll find out how this one ends on the other side. Utah trails 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Five minutes and 48 seconds left in regulation. As nobody has scored here so far in the third frame. Grizzlies with an offensive zone draw. Freeson, Lebster, and Gratton, as well as Antonacci and Hanson Bukata. Party of 5 for Utah. Hanson Bukata, right side, one-timer, saved by Seville, as he made a glove stop with Tyler Gratton out front, trying to either act as a screen or redirect the blast from Hanson Bukata in the right point. A pretty good look there, and AHB just fired a low liner, but just based on where Gratton was, it looked like Seville had pretty good vision on it. Almost looked like Gratton was able to get a little bit more towards the middle of the ice, would have maybe clouded the vision of Seville. Grizzlies win the faceoff. Hanson Bukata fires towards the net, and it's blocked. Grizzlies being very aggressive here as Lebster off the stick battles with Parker Jones, the big 6'8" forward. As now at center ice, Lebster, he gets a good shoulder check as Murphy gets knifed away by Hanson Bukata. Puck slides more back towards the Greenville line as Freeson skates towards the corner and gets pinned by Murray. As Jake Murray's played a good game for Greenville. Grizzlies down 2-1, looking to find a way to get the tying goal. As scrum over in the right corner. Grattan and Webster, boy, they're holding their ground against three pretty strong Swamp Rabbits. And Friesen looking nearby along with Jake Murray. As puck just kind of stays along that spot. Now it's flipped out to center ice, and it slides into the Grizzlies zone as Hanson Bucata runs it down. He'll get to the middle of the ice for Antonacci, and I've been impressed with what I've seen from him in his 3 games as a Grizzly. This is actually game 4 for him, and he's looked pretty good. Grizzlies from center ice fired in as Greenville back deep in their own zone. 4.5 minutes left in regulation. Gansky gets the puck, and he'll whip it around the boards. Level behind his net. As Grizzlies up to 23 shots, Greenville's taken 18. Not many shots in this third period. Poisson skates towards the right side, pivots, feeds it up top. Level, he'll fire a lefty shot, saved by Bassey as he collected it in the butterfly position. Good job by Dominic Bassey, who was stopped 17 of 19. In fact, you mentioned not many shots for Greenville. That's just the third shot they've taken so far in this third period. The Grizzlies 7 shots in the first, 7 in the second, and they're up to 9 shots here in the third. So faceoff's going to be over in the right circle. Grizzlies are skating from right to left as we see it here in the third period. Gillette will take the faceoff against Ben Poisson as Greenville takes the draw, goes to the middle of the ice, backhand shot, saved by Bassey. Rebound out in front, it kicks back towards Bassey. Getting the loose puck is John Gillette. He skates around his net with speed. Gillette along the left wing, moves it ahead towards Kennedy, as Kennedy now battles along the near wing in the Swamp Rabbit zone. Trifles, fires towards the net, and hits off the chest of the goaltender, Seville, as Greenville throws it in. Stucker to the right corner as he whips it around the boards. Trifles lets it go as Greenville is in the middle of a change. As the Swamp Rabbits back deep in their own zone. As there's 3:37 left in the third, Grizzlies are trying to put the pressure on, especially in the Greenville zone. As the Swamp Rabbits out to center ice, O'Hara loses it. Webster down the middle. He scored some big goals for Utah this season. Now right wing, he gets back checked by Mastrodonato. Webster and Mastrodonato collide along the boards. Those were 2 of Utah's best performers last year, and Webster has been outstanding again for Utah this season. Webster along the right goal line. He'll tap it off the wall to AHB. Now AHB over to Webster, who gloves it and drops it. Left wing, he fires it wide as it ricochets off the boards. Grizzlies get to the middle of the ice, but Iso Guy will move it out towards center ice. Bouncing puck taken by Iso Guy, native of Nagano, Japan. Along the right wing, drops for Mastrodonato, and Mastrodonato fires, and it's gloved by Hanson Bucata. He immediately drops it towards the right corner. There's 2:42 on a moving clock, third period. Coella accelerates down the middle of the ice at center ice. He'll pitch it to his left, but Murray will tap it ahead to the right wing. Polino skates towards the right corner as he collides with Antonacci. As puck goes from one corner to the other, as Coella battles with Sheriff. Stucker gets it ahead, but Greenville feeds it to the right wing. As puck deflects out of play, and it goes towards section 117. So there's 2 minutes and 19 seconds left in regulation. I think Grizzlies are just trying to break through with a good scoring chance. Well, Grizzlies haven't had too many grade A chances here in the third period among their 10 shots. So the 5 on the ice for the Grizzlies are going to be Gansky and Salem, along with Connors, Gillette, and Mikey Coella. So Connors will take the face off. As we're getting down to crunch time, smoke him if you got him. Utah wins the draw. Gansky dangling back and forth along the right wing. Feeds out to Gillette, neutralized. Gillette will fire it in. As Connors off his glove, and it ends up to the shoulder of Seville, who just snatched it and just casually holds on with 2:08 left in the third. And with that, Dominic Bassey skating towards the bench. Utah's net's open as Bassey will skate to the bench, and Utah will have 6 on the ice. So for Utah, it appears to be 5 forwards and Hanson Bucata. Webster, Friesen, Grattan, Connors, and Genev, with Friesen taking the face-off. Some of the big face-offs coming up. Luke Manning took a lot of them early in the season, but Evan Friesen has held his own in the face-off circle over the last month. Utah wins the draw. Hands to Mukata. Gets it towards left wing boards for Webster. He loses control of the puck as it goes out to center ice and wobbles into the Swamp Rabbits zone. And icing is going to be called on Greenville as Dante Sheriff was able to get a piece of the puck. And that stops play with 1:59 left in the third. So Friesen with one big face-off win. Utah has a slide edge in the face-off circle here this evening. Friesen once again will take the draw, and I believe that's Patrick Polino on the Greenville side. Draw won by the Swamp Rabbits. Murray rolls along the far wing boards. Genev feeds it to the middle of the ice. Bouncing puck. Murray gets it up and not out. Left side. Connors fires towards the net. Saved by Seville. Now Greenville. Saucered out to center ice. AHB gets it. He'll slide it ahead 20 feet to his left. Lebster will wobble it into the left corner and chase after it. Lebster gets spun around as he was chasing after the puck. Murray skies it in. He skies it, but not all the way out. Hands to Bukata. Boy, looked like Grattan tried to redirect it in front of the crease. Got cross-check, no call. Now Grattan gets some lumber in the back from Polino. Minute 25 left in the third. Connors with a shot is blocked. Greenville fires one towards the empty net and misses. Hanson Bukata strides after it. And icing is on Greenville with a minute 18 left in the third. So Grizzlies with a lot of offensive zone time. And so it looks like Utah is going to make a line change. And with that, does John Buchanan and Ryan Anderson use this timeout to try to get these six guys back on the ice, get them a little rest. Anderson's got the clipboard out, and they're thinking about a timeout. I'm not sure they're going to call one. Anderson's already got the clipboard out, and it looks like the Grizzlies are going to call their timeout. But Anderson's going to stall for a little bit to give that six-man unit that was on the ice a little bit of a breather. So it looks like Utah's going to call a timeout. 1:18 is left in the third period. For Utah, maybe what you want to do is right there when Hanson Bukata had the puck in the left point and Grattan redirected it. It would have been close to being a high stick, but then Grattan, as he was trying to redirect the puck, got cross-checked about shoulder high. So I think you might see a similar type of play where Connors looks like he's been shooting it pretty well tonight. You know, can you find a way to get Connors open? You know, obviously Reed Lepster's a threat every time he's on the ice. You know, do you get Tyler Grattan? He's probably going to be the Grizzly that's going to be in front of the net. You know, it looks like Hanson Bukata is playing with quite a bit of confidence here this evening. And really, as the year's gone on, and Hanson Bukata did a great job to start the year, but he's been really picking it up and playing with a lot of confidence here over the last few months. So if you joined us late, neither team scored in the first period. Utah got on the board first as Robbie Stucker scored a power play goal, 2:36 in, on kind of a wrist shot from the high slot. And then Greenville responded with two unanswered. Ryan O'Reilly from the right circle, 16:02 in, and Dante Sheriff unassisted, 17:25 in. Grizzlies have outshot the Swamp Rabbits 25-21. So same six on the ice with Friesen, Lepster, Grattan, Connors, Genev, and Hanson Bukata. And Connors and Friesen taking the draw. This time it's won by Greenville towards the left corner. Lepster battles with Murray as three Grizzlies, two Swamp Rabbits over in the corner. As now there's a minute 6 seconds left in the period as the puck wobbles towards the left goal line. How much time's left, Mark Larson?
1 minute remaining in the third period.
Genev fires away, and it's blocked. Now Greenville skating towards the empty net. And left wing, lefty shot and a score. And this baby's in the refrigerator as Hudson Shandor scores his third of the year. And the Swamp Rabbits take a 3-1 lead with 52 seconds left. As trailing the play was Hanson Bukata, but Shandor is going to pick up the goal. It looks like the Swamp Rabbits, barring a miracle, are going to come away with the victory here in the series opener. All right, Grizzlies, it seemed like won their fair share of 50-50 pucks, and well, it seems like the difference in the game, razor-thin margins. Shandor at the goal and Dante Sheriff with an assist. Sheriff might end up being the number one star of the game. And right now, he'd be listed as scoring the game winner. As puck towards the near wing, out to center ice. Masha Donato gets the puck as Massey's in there right now. Masha Donato dumps it in and gets around Boilar. Mastro delivers a hit on Antonacci. Ed towards Schreifels, past him towards Tim Laveau of Greenville. There's 16 seconds left Well, Utah put together a pretty good battle, but just couldn't find a way to generate offense 5-on-5. Swamp Rabbits with 2 goals in the second. The empty netter by Shandor in the third. 5 seconds left out to center ice. Mastrodonato gets the puck, and that will do it. Greenville gets a 3-1 win as Dante Sheriff had 1 goal and 1 assist. And even though the Grizzlies outshot Greenville 25-22, the Grizzlies got the first goal. Greenville responded with 3 unanswered. Greenville's record goes to 16-16 on the year as they're now a 500 club. They're 7-6-3 on the road. Grizzlies fall to 15-22-3. And they're still looking to find a way to get on the winning track here at home, as they've got a record of 3-11-1 here on the Maverik Center ice. As the Grizzlies thank the fans for showing up tonight here on a Wednesday evening. And well, for Utah, they're looking to find a way to climb back on the winning note on Friday night. Attendance here this evening was 2,495. Neither team scored in the first period, as Greenville had 9 shots to Utah's 7. Biggest save that Robbie Stucker made was with 33 seconds left in the first period on a Patrick Polino shot. It was a pretty evenly played first period. Scoring chances, Grizzlies had 4, and Greenville had 3. Nobody found the back of the net. Then Utah got a power play early in the second period as Dante Sheriff got a tripping minor 49 seconds in. Utah only got 1 shot on the power play, and it was Robbie Stucker had the puck in the high slot. There was a little bit of traffic out in front of him. He just fired a wrister. Gillette was out in front of the crease trying to redirect it, but Stucker had the perfect accuracy, and he scored his 4th of the year with Luke Salem, and John Gillette gained the assist, as Gillette now has an assist in 5 of his last 10 games. Greenville tied it up at 1, 16:02 in, as Ryan O'Reilly scored his 9th of the year. And it was assisted by Keaton Mastrodonato and Josh Atkinson. Mastrodonato and Atkinson each pick up their 13th assists of the year. Grizzlies, a few seconds before Greenville scored, had a breakaway as Lebster fired away from the right wing. He had plenty of momentum. It ricocheted off Isaiah Seville, the goaltender, and then it looked like Friesen had a second chance and just couldn't find a way to get control of the puck to get a good second shot off. And then Greenville came back with momentum and scored along the right wing. And then later on, the score that turned out to be the game winner, Bassey played the puck behind his net, rolled it along the boards towards the far side, and then Dante Sheriff collected it. Bassey tried to recover, getting back in front of his net, but then Sheriff, with a quick-looking wrist shot, was able to get the puck past Bassey. That turned out to be the game winner. It was Sheriff's 6th of the year, and that was 17:25 into the second period unassisted. That made it a 2-1 game. Both teams had 7 shots in the second period. In the third frame, Grizzlies outshot the Swamp Rabbits by a margin of 11-6. But neither team was able to find the back of the net in the third period until the empty netter that was scored by Hudson Shandor. And that was 19:07 in. It's his 3rd of the year, with Dante Sheriff picking up the lone assist. And so with that, Sheriff ended the night with 1 goal and 1 assist. He was a +2. And he was the only Swamp Rabbit with a multiple-point game. In terms of the battle of the goaltenders, first time that Isaiah Seville had played against the Grizzlies, and he stopped 24 of 25. Earlier today, he was reassigned to the Swamp Rabbits from the AHL's Ontario Reign. And Dominic Bassey on the Utah side, he stopped 19 of 21. Bassey has allowed exactly 2 goals in each of his last 4 games. So he's had 4 straight games where he has allowed exactly 2 goals. But tonight just wasn't enough, as even though the Grizzlies got the first goal of the game, they couldn't find a way to get anything generated 5-on-5. And really the Grizzlies had been the power play. where they've been getting the job done. Utah was 1 for 1 on the power play. And now over the last 4 games, Grizzlies are 6 for 14 on the man advantage. So I think if you're thinking about over the next couple games, I think Grizzlies would love to get some more power play opportunities, but it looked like the 2 referees were letting him play for the most part. And I think Greenville kind of noticed the scouting report coming into play tonight and noticed that Utah had been a hot power play unit. And they did a good job playing a disciplined brand of hockey, finding a way to stay out of the box. The Grizzlies, obviously, they've got the 3rd fewest penalty minutes of any team in the league, and they've been staying out of the box consistently this year. And so special teams was, advantage Grizzlies here tonight, but just didn't have enough special teams opportunities. So really, if we're looking at something going into Friday's games, Utah's going to be looking to find a way to generate something 5-on-5 in the middle of this 3-game set. It's a pretty quick-moving game, despite the fact that we had an insane amount of icing calls. 2 hours and 21 minutes was the time of game, and attendance was 2,495. Well, this is just the start of a fun week here at Maverik Center. Both teams will be off tomorrow, but don't forget to join us on Friday night. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off, but we want to see you here at Maverik Center as Grizzlies will take on these same Swamp Rabbits. And then Saturday night, really it's going to be a full day of hockey. Here is the charity games for the Guns N' Hoses Classic will begin at 12 o'clock. There will be 3 charity games in the afternoon leading up to the Grizzlies game at 7 p.m. And remember, if you have a ticket to the Grizzlies game, that's good enough to get you into the 3 charity games. And that's going to be a ton of fun as we are going to be honoring police officers, firefighters, and local responders, first responders, and that's going to be a great occasion. The Grizzlies front office is certainly year in and year out utilize Guns N' Hoses night as their big game. Kind of like football's going to have its big game in a week and a half from now. Guns N' Hoses night has certainly been not just a night, but it's been an entire day, and it certainly has been a massive success over the years. And so I think in terms of the biggest Guns N' Hoses nights that the Grizzlies have had, I think they're hoping that this upcoming Saturday will be the biggest and best in team history. So that's going to be on Saturday night. Really, it's, as we mentioned, it's an all-day extravaganza beginning at noon with the first charity game. I'll just about wrap things up, but let's first get to the 3 stars of the game. Third star is Robbie Stucker, who scored Utah's lone goal, as he scored 2:36 into the second period, with Luke Salem and John Gillette getting the assists. Stucker had 3 shots, and he's been a strong addition to the Grizzlies. He's been rock solid over the last month and a half. So Robbie Stucker is the number 3 star. Ryan O'Reilly, who scored Greenville's first goal, he's the second star. He picked up his 8th of the year, 16:02 into the second period. O'Reilly was a +1 and had 2 shots. And the number 1 star is Dante Sheriff, who had 1 goal and 1 assist. He was a +2. He had 1 shot. He also had 2 penalty minutes. He picked up the lone Greenville penalty tonight. So you could say he did just about everything. Dante Sheriff is the number 1 star of the game. Not many shots on either side. Grizzlies with 25 and Greenville with 22. Well, we hope you enjoy the broadcast, not necessarily the final outcome. Once again, in 2 hours and 21 minutes and in front of a crowd of 2,495. It's the Greenville Swamp Rabbits getting a 3-1 victory over the Utah Grizzlies. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday get to the National Hockey League. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.